There are moments in life when something extraordinary happens, something beyond our comprehension. You might not realize it, but your mere existence has the power to disrupt the very foundation of the world as it is known. Those around you, once comfortable in their certainty, now face a jarring reality they cannot ignore. Your presence, the way you live, the words you speak, has sent shockwaves into systems built on secrecy, lies, and control. The time has come for the truth to rise and shine in a way the world has never seen. What is happening is not just a coincidence. This is divine orchestration. As one of God's chosen ones, you carry a light, a frequency that cannot be ignored, even by those who have been deeply embedded in a world of deception. You were never meant to see beyond the veil, but somehow you did. And in doing so, you've become an unwitting catalyst for a powerful awakening, one that will shake the very core of the agents entrenched in the system's falsehoods. For years, the agent lived a life dictated by duty, structure, and loyalty to a system that promised protection and order. As a high-ranking figure in the world of secrecy and surveillance, they were trained to trust the system, to believe in the infallibility of their superiors, to follow commands without question, and to guard information with unyielding devotion. This was the reality they had been shaped to accept, a world where everything had a purpose, where every mission was justified, and where every classified document remained locked away for the greater good. To them, the system was not only logical, but essential, the very foundation of a world that required control and structure to function properly. Their training had been rigorous, their understanding of the world finely tuned to follow a strict code of conduct. They had learned to recognize the subtle manipulations of others, to detect lies before they were spoken, and to function within a web of secrecy so vast it was impossible to see the edges. Every action, every decision was based on years of careful conditioning. To question the system, to doubt its purpose, was inconceivable. They had come to trust the rules they had followed, convinced that without them, chaos would reign. The belief that they were part of something greater, something necessary, gave them a sense of purpose and security. The agent saw their role as one of unwavering commitment to the higher cause. No room for uncertainty, no room for doubt. But everything began to shift the moment their path crossed with yours. At first, they dismissed you as just another voice among countless others, a seemingly insignificant individual in a sea of opinions, a small ripple in an ocean of noise. You were just another truth seeker, another person claiming to see beyond the veil of everyday existence, but offering nothing concrete. Yet, something in your presence unsettled them in a way they couldn't explain. It wasn't your words that first caught their attention. It was the way you spoke, the way you hinted at truths that should not have been known. The casual mention of events erased from public memory, or the knowledge of people whose existence should have been impossible to trace, disturbed something deep inside them. It wasn't long before this quiet disturbance grew into a more insistent question, one they had never before dared to ask themselves. What if I've been wrong? The thought, though small at first, lodged itself in their mind like a splinter. Unwelcome, but impossible to ignore. They had lived their entire life under the assumption that the world they served was just and unassailable. Yet the pieces of your words began to shift something in their perception. For the first time, they were forced to confront the possibility that everything they had believed, everything they had been conditioned to trust, could be a lie. This realization didn't come all at once. It was subtle, creeping into their thoughts when they least expected it. But with each new encounter, each new piece of information you shared, the veil of certainty that had once shielded their mind began to tear. And as it did, the agent's world was forever changed. The moment of doubt was undeniable, a pivotal shift in the agent's world. Until now, their beliefs had been rock solid, immovable like the walls of a fortress they had spent years building. These walls were reinforced by training, discipline, and an unwavering trust in the system they served. For them, the world was black and white, clear-cut, and predictable. Every order had a purpose, every mission was justified, and every piece of classified information was locked away for a reason. There was no room for uncertainty, no space for questions. But now, as the doubt began to creep in, it cracked those walls open, allowing a single question to echo louder than anything they had ever known. Could this all be a lie? It was a question they had never allowed themselves to entertain, not in their years of service. But as their certainty began to crumble, so did their reliance on the very system they had pledged to protect. The foundation of their beliefs shook with a force that was impossible to ignore. For the first time, they realized that the world they had trusted, the world they had believed to be infallible, might not be what it seemed. The agent, now consumed with doubt, did what they knew best. They investigated. It was in their nature to search for the truth, to analyze, to uncover the facts that lay hidden in the shadows. They delved into classified documents, scoured reports, and cross-referenced every detail, determined to find evidence that would prove you wrong, to find the flaw that would expose you as a fraud. But what they uncovered instead sent shockwaves through their entire being. The carefully constructed narrative they had followed for years began to unravel before their eyes. The truths you spoke, truths that had once seemed disconnected, fragmented, slowly began to piece themselves together. The agent, once sure of everything, now stood face to face with the undeniable reality. They had been deceived. What had seemed like isolated incidents, what they had dismissed as mere speculation, now revealed themselves as part of a vast hidden network of control, manipulation, and deceit. The lies they had been fed for so long were no longer just theories. They were undeniable facts. The system they had dedicated their life to was not built on the pursuit of justice or truth, but on maintaining a carefully orchestrated illusion. It was not a single conspiracy. It was an entire structure, woven into the very fabric of their world, designed to conceal the truth from those entrusted with protecting it. The agents' belief in the righteousness of their mission shattered as the truth began to dawn on them. They had been a pawn in a game far greater and darker than they could have ever imagined. This revelation did not come all at once. It was gradual, like a slow burn that intensified with every discovery, every hidden truth uncovered. But now the agent could no longer deny what was happening. They had crossed a line and there was no going back. The truth had revealed itself, and with it came the realization that everything they had known had been a lie. The agent, trained meticulously to detect deception and sift through layers of lies, had now stumbled upon a truth so profound, so undeniable, that it shattered the very lens through which they had viewed the world. Up until this moment, their understanding of reality had been clear-cut and structured, truths that were easy to grasp, facts that could be verified with precision. But now, as they looked deeper into the system they had once served, a terrifying realization dawned. The world was not as they had been taught to believe. It was corrupt, controlled, and manipulated from the highest levels, and the truths they had trusted were nothing but carefully constructed facades. What had once seemed like the natural order, their role in protecting the world, upholding the system's ideals, now felt like a cruel illusion. The truth had always been there, hidden in plain sight, but it was obscured by the complexity of the system that surrounded them. It was a labyrinth of lies, each turn leading further into deception, keeping them blind to the true forces at play. The distractions, the carefully woven narratives designed to mislead, had kept them from seeing what was right in front of their eyes. But now, as the pieces of the puzzle fell into place, the agent could no longer deny the staggering reality. They had been part of something far darker than they had ever imagined. This moment of revelation, this dramatic shift in perception, was not unlike the experience of the prophet Elisha's servant in 2 Kings 6:17. When the servant was terrified to see their city surrounded by an enemy army, Elisha prayed that his eyes would be opened, and suddenly, the servant's vision expanded. He saw what had been invisible to him moments before, the mountains filled with chariots of fire, the spiritual forces that surrounded them, ready to protect them. In that instant, the servant's understanding of reality was transformed. What he had thought was a hopeless situation was, in fact, a divine protection in the unseen realm. For the agent, their moment of awakening mirrored that of Elisha's servant. For years, they had operated within a system that appeared to be all-powerful, a fortress of control and order. But now, like the servant who saw the spiritual forces surrounding them, the agent's eyes were open to a truth that had always been there, hidden beneath layers of secrecy and manipulation. The reality they once trusted was no longer enough to hold them. The walls of certainty that had protected them for so long began to crumble, and they were forced to confront the overwhelming truth. The forces they had trusted and fought for were not working for justice, but to maintain control. This moment was both terrifying and liberating, a moment when everything the agent had known fell apart, and they were left to face a new, unfiltered reality. The scales had fallen from their eyes, and there was no going back. The truth had been revealed, and now the agent understood. They had been part of something much bigger than they could have ever imagined, and their path forward would no longer be defined by the lies they had once believed. This journey was no longer about uncovering corruption or exposing a criminal network. It was no longer confined to the physical realm of politics, power, or control. The agent, as they began to see beyond the veil of their previous beliefs, realized something far more profound was at play. This was a spiritual battle, a war between light and darkness, between truth and lies. The truths you had spoken were not merely about the systems of deception they had once served, but about something far deeper, something divine in nature. They were being forced to confront not just the corruption of the world, but the fundamental battle for the souls of mankind. For years, the agent had thought of their work as a logical, rational task, exposing and dismantling physical threats. But now, they saw the true nature of their mission. It was a struggle that extended beyond the human realm. It was a war waged in the unseen realms, a spiritual warfare that transcended the material world they had been taught to trust. They began to understand that the forces they had been fighting for, those systems of control, secrecy, and manipulation, were part of something darker, something that had been manipulating truth for centuries. What had appeared as a clear-cut duty was, in fact, a much larger and more complex spiritual warfare. This awakening was not unlike the transformation of Saul on the road to Damascus, a story that is deeply embedded in the foundations of faith. Saul, a man once deeply entrenched in his own righteousness, was convinced that his persecution of those who threatened his worldview was justified. He believed that his actions were for the greater good, that his understanding of the world was unassailable. But in a moment of divine intervention, a blinding light struck him down, and Saul found himself face to face with the truth he had rejected for so long. He could no longer deny the reality that had been hidden from him. This moment of spiritual awakening, his literal blindness followed by a revelation that shattered his entire belief system, became the catalyst for his transformation into Paul, one of the most influential figures in history. The agent, much like Saul, was now standing at the crossroads of a similar awakening. The foundation of everything they had believed in was crumbling, and in its place a new understanding was emerging, one that was not rooted in worldly wisdom, but in divine revelation. What had once seemed like an impenetrable truth was now revealed as a lie, and what had appeared as the natural order was now exposed as a carefully orchestrated deception. The agent was being stripped of their former understanding of reality, and in its place, they began to see a new world, a world governed not by the systems they had sworn allegiance to, but by forces that transcended human power. This was no longer just about fighting an external enemy. The agent was engaged in a battle for their very soul, a battle between the forces of darkness that had clouded their vision and the light of truth that was now beginning to guide them. As Saul's encounter with the divine light transformed him into Paul, the agent's journey of awakening was leading them toward a greater understanding, a deeper connection to the divine truth that had been concealed for so long. As the agent continued to dig deeper into the tangled web of deception, the pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place. The truth that had eluded them for so long was now painfully clear. You were no mere outsider. At first, the agent had dismissed you as just another voice in the wilderness, a whistleblower or perhaps a conspiracy theorist, someone who spoke of things beyond their grasp. But now, with each layer of truth they uncovered, it became increasingly evident. You were something far greater. You were not an accidental disruptor, nor a mere anomaly in their world. You were a divine messenger, sent not by chance, but as part of a much grander, divine plan. In that moment, the agent's perspective shifted. What they had once viewed as a disruptive force, something that didn't fit within the neat structure they had always known, was now revealed as a crucial part of a higher calling. Just as Joseph had been chosen to interpret Pharaoh's dreams and reveal hidden truths that would alter the course of history, so too had you been chosen to uncover a truth so powerful it would shake the very foundation of the world they thought they understood. Joseph's story in the Bible speaks of a man who, despite his circumstances and betrayal, was chosen to reveal a truth that saved nations. His ability to interpret dreams was not just a gift, it was a divine calling that set the stage for the fulfillment of God's plan. In a similar vein, your purpose was not accidental, it was predestined. You were not simply exposing secrets or stirring the pot with idle gossip. You were sent to shatter the illusions that had held the powerful in their grasp for centuries, to awaken minds that had long been asleep to the reality of the world. The agent now saw you through a new lens. What once seemed like an inconvenient truth was, in fact, a divine intervention meant to illuminate what had been hidden in the shadows. You were a disruptor of the highest order, one who had been sent to break through the fortress of lies that protected the powerful. But more importantly, you were a catalyst for awakening. Your presence alone had forced the agent to confront the unspoken truths they had once ignored. Now, they understood that you had been strategically placed in their path to reveal the deeper reality, a reality beyond the control of the systems they had once trusted. You were not there to simply expose flaws or weaknesses. You were there to awaken the slumbering minds within the system, those who had been bound by years of false teachings, manipulation, and lies. And as the agent stood at the precipice of this realization, they could no longer deny the truth. You were the chosen one, the messenger sent to awaken the truth in them all. Your mission was not just one of exposure, but of divine revelation, meant to shatter the illusions and illuminate the path for all who were ready to see. The agent, once a loyal servant of the system, now stood at the edge of a profound transformation. Their once unwavering faith in the system that had shaped their life was irrevocably shattered. No longer could they blindly accept the structures that had guided their every action, nor could they ignore the truth that had been laid bare before them. The loyalty, duty, and control they had long upheld as the pillars of their existence now seemed like mere facades, carefully constructed illusions meant to obscure the deeper reality. The agent had seen the truth, and in doing so, they were forever changed. In the wake of this revelation, the agents found themselves at a crossroads. The world they had known, the mission they had served, was no longer a clear path. They had been trained to trust in the system's righteousness, to believe in the orders they followed, and to protect the structures that governed society. But now, the very foundation of those beliefs has crumbled. The truth, the one they had tried to ignore, had forced them to confront something they were not prepared for. The undeniable fact that they had been a part of something far darker than they had ever imagined. The weight of this newfound knowledge pressed heavily upon them. They could no longer turn away from it. The question that now loomed over the agent was a simple yet profound one. What would they do next? Would they continue to serve the very system they had uncovered as corrupt, knowing the lies and manipulations that propped it up? Or would they break free from the chains of their past, choosing a new path aligned with the truth they had discovered? This decision was not an easy one. The agent had spent years living by the code of duty and loyalty. They had sacrificed much to uphold that code. But now, standing on the precipice of a new reality, they understood that to remain silent, to continue serving a broken system, would be to betray everything they had come to know as true. To walk away, however, meant abandoning the life they had known and stepping into the unknown, a life that required courage, vulnerability, and an unwavering commitment to the truth. The path forward was unclear, but it was the only path that aligned with the truth the agent had uncovered. There would be no turning back. What had once seemed like a duty had now become a moral imperative to walk in the light, to leave behind the deception, and to serve a greater purpose, one rooted in honesty, integrity, and divine revelation. The agent now had a choice to make, and though the road ahead was uncertain, they knew they could no longer walk in the shadows. The time had come to step forward, to embrace the truth, and to find a new path that reflected the change that had taken place within them. And you, as one of God's chosen ones, have already made a profound impact. You have shattered the programming that sought to control and deceive. Your words, your actions, and your very presence have shaken the foundations of the enemy's strongholds. You are a beacon of light in a world shrouded in darkness, and your influence will only grow as you continue to speak the truth. The world will resist, and the enemies of truth will attempt to silence you. But remember this: what God has ordained, no man can overturn. The truth is unstoppable, and with it you will rise, unshaken and unbowed, until every lie has been exposed and divine justice is fully realized. That is more than enough. Like this message. Comment below. Subscribe so you don't miss any future revelations. And most importantly, step into your divine calling. May God bless you richly. There comes a moment in every chosen soul's journey when the silence is so loud, it feels like the universe is holding its breath. You may have felt it lately, the trembling beneath your feet, like tectonic plates grinding in slow motion, not just in the physical, but in the spiritual. The unseen has started to ripple into the seen. Systems once unshakable are cracking. Truths once buried are clawing their way to the surface. And deep in your soul, you know, something massive is about to break. You've waited, watched. Carry your pain with quiet dignity while those who wronged you built kingdoms out of your stolen legacy. But now, the delay is over. The gavel has dropped. The universe is moving, swiftly and decisively, in your favor. This is not just karma. This is cosmic justice. If you are feeling this message in your spirit right now, let's subscribe and comment 777 to know this. You have been called for such a time as this. The heavens had already made their decision when you first breathed. The stars aligned in sacred silence, marking your arrival not as coincidence, but as calling. Woven into the fabric of your spiritual DNA were promises of abundance, protection, divine purpose, and inheritance. These weren't random blessings scattered by fate. They were precise assignments etched into eternity. Divine contracts, drafted in the language of light and sealed with the fire of destiny, had already been signed with your name. And when your soul descended into this realm, it carried the full weight of that calling. The moment your feet touched this earth, shadows stirred. The resistance didn't come from strangers. It came from within the bloodlines meant to protect you. Generations corrupted by greed and blinded by ego began to move against you, subtly, strategically. These were not mere acts of jealousy. These were orchestrations, calculated, practiced, and deeply rooted in the fear of your light. They watched as your gifts began to take shape, recognizing early what you had not yet realized. Your potential threatened the very foundation of their illusion. So they studied you. They mimicked you. And when imitation failed, they took a darker route. What they could not replicate, they stole. What they couldn't comprehend, they slandered. What they couldn't earn, they forged. They twisted the truth into tales that served their narrative. They rewrote histories and constructed realities where you were the outsider, where your rightful place was handed to someone else. They created documents literal or metaphorical to reroute your inheritance, your name erased in ink or intention. With every move, they pushed you further from what was always meant to be yours. But perhaps the cruelest tactic of all was convincing you that you were never meant for more. They planted seeds of doubt, hoping you would forget what your soul always knew, that you were born chosen. They gaslit your intuition, mocked your dreams, and spun lies so carefully, so consistently, that even you began to wonder if the vision in your spirit had been a mistake. Yet, through all of it, one truth remained untouched. The original decree still stands. What was written in light cannot be undone by hands moving in shadow. What was assigned to your spirit before time began cannot be claimed by those who operate in deception. Your birthright may have been buried, but it was never lost. And now, the time of unveiling has come. This is a carefully constructed campaign, slow, methodical, and ruthless. A war fought not with weapons, but with whispers, documents, manipulation, and masked intentions. It was warfare waged in the quiet corridors of legal systems, spiritual dimensions, and psychological games. While you were still learning to love and trust, they were mastering how to control, conceal, and conquer. Behind closed doors, under the guise of civility, they built a network designed to keep you from what was yours. They held late-night meetings, whispering alliances into being. They entered strategic relationships not for love, but for leverage. Quiet bribes changed hands. Paperwork passed through complicit fingers. Every move was calculated to shift power, redirect blessings, and dismantle your access to your own legacy. They didn't just block your path, they rewrote the map. They built dams to reroute your flow of abundance. They constructed walls to obscure your vision, hoping you'd lose sight of your purpose. And the most cunning of all, they wore masks. Smiling, supportive, and seemingly on your side, they stood close enough to study your every step, until the moment came to strike. Their deception was intimate, personal, engineered to make you question not only them but yourself. And yet, despite it all, you endured. They took your resources, your opportunities, even moments of your identity, but they could not dim your light. Because what they failed to understand is this: blessings that are truly divine cannot be destroyed. They can be delayed, hidden, misdirected, but they remain alive, pulsing beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to rise. Now, in a twist only the universe could script, the very tools they use to bury your destiny are becoming the blueprints for their own exposure. The lies they carefully layered are collapsing under the weight of truth. The masks are slipping, the alliances are fracturing, and the shadows where they once hid are being flooded with revelation. Their architecture of deception was elaborate, but it was never eternal. Because the truth, once buried, is now rising. And this time, it's bringing justice with it. What they never accounted for was that their careful planning could never outmaneuver divine timing. While they schemed behind closed doors, convinced they were untouchable, the universe was wide awake, watching, waiting, recording every move in silence. Not one injustice escaped its notice. Not a single lie, manipulation, or stolen moment went uncounted. Every betrayal added weight to your karmic inheritance. Every opportunity taken from you accrued spiritual interest. Every tear you shed in silence became a seed planted in unseen soil, destined to bloom at the perfect hour. You weren't just waiting, you were accumulating. Not just for payback, but for something greater: restoration. This is about being launched into what should have already been yours had they not interfered. It's not a rewind, it's an acceleration. A holy correction of course. A divine recalibration not only of your path but of everything connected to you. And now, the shift has begun. There is no astrological transit strong enough to match this movement. Not even Mercury in retrograde compares to what's unfolding. This is bigger than fate or fortune. This is a celestial reordering, a justice so precise it rewrites timelines and resets balance on both personal and cosmic levels. This is the great correction, not born from revenge, but from divine alignment. What was once hidden is emerging. What was delayed is now speeding forward. And what they thought they buried forever is erupting into the light with unstoppable force. The universe has decided, it's your time now. Even now, As you read these words, something is unfolding in the realm beyond the visible. A spiritual pursuit is underway, fast, precise, unstoppable. Sirens are wailing in the unseen, their sound vibrating through the atmosphere like a warning bell to every soul involved in deception. Above, divine helicopters circle with perfect awareness, their spotlight of truth scanning every hidden corner, every locked vault, every sealed file. Warrants have been issued not by man, but by heaven, and they are now being executed on earth with relentless accuracy. The conspirators can feel it. The walls are closing in. Panic has begun to set in as they scramble for shelter that no longer exists. They're making desperate calls to lawyers in the dead of night, shredding evidence under moonlight, shifting funds to offshore accounts, and researching distant lands where they hope extradition laws might offer a false sense of security. But it's too late. The trap was triggered the very moment they touched what was never theirs to claim. You see, what is divinely assigned comes with protection coded into its very essence. By interfering with your destiny, they activate a celestial tracking system they cannot outrun or outsmart. Because the universe doesn't need handcuffs, it doesn't rely on bars or cells. All it requires is timing, divine, precise, and absolute. And now, time has caught up with them. Their every move is being watched by forces that cannot be bribed or delayed. Justice isn't approaching quietly, it's roaring in, loud enough to shake their illusions and loud enough to announce that what was hidden is now being reckoned with. The sirens aren't just sounding, they're signaling the beginning of the great unraveling. What's coming won't be quiet. It won't arrive in whispers or behind closed doors. No, this will be loud, public, and utterly unavoidable. The walls they built to contain the truth are crumbling, and everything they worked so hard to conceal is bursting into the open. Secrets buried beneath years of manipulation are surfacing like debris after a flood, visible, undeniable, and damning. Their carefully crafted images, the polished reputations, the curated appearances, the long-maintained facades are shattering like glass under the weight of revelation. Private conversations once confined to dark rooms are being echoed across timelines, headlines, and living rooms. What was once said in secret is now center stage. The patriarch who built his legacy on the illusion of integrity. Exposed. The matriarch who wore morality like a crown while orchestrating betrayal behind the scenes. Unmasked. That smiling cousin who played innocent while siphoning off your blessing. Publicly humiliated. This isn't just another scandal to be swept under the rug. This is divine education, a celestial case study in what happens when people attempt to hijack someone else's destiny. The universe is making an example out of this story, not out of cruelty, but as a warning, as a teaching moment etched into the collective consciousness. What they did wasn't just wrong, it was cosmic trespassing. And now the lesson must be delivered in full view of the world. Because when someone touches what heaven assigned to another, it doesn't go unnoticed. And now, with nothing left to hide behind, the truth is doing what it always does in the end, rising to the surface, blinding, undeniable, and backed by divine fire. And then, just when they thought their fortress of lies was impenetrable, something unexpected happened. One of their own turned. A former ally, once deeply woven into their web of deception, has been stirred by something stronger than loyalty, guilt, or maybe fear. Whatever the reason, they're no longer willing to stay silent. The weight of what they know has become too heavy to carry. Now they're stepping forward with proof, not vague memories or whispered confessions, but hard evidence, emails, recorded phone calls, handwritten notes from secret meetings, financial statements, wire transfers, receipts upon receipts, concrete documentation of the betrayal, tangible trails leading back to exactly when they took what was yours and how they planned to keep it. There's no more speculation. Now it's recorded, time-stamped, signed. With every file shared, another domino falls. The house of cards they built is collapsing in real time, and the shadows they used to hide in have become floodlit stages of exposure. Those who once operated in secrecy are being pulled into the open, one by one, forced to face the truth they tried to bury. And the insider who flipped? They're not just offering information. They're unlocking the very doors that were slammed shut against you. The doors to justice, to restoration, to your rightful place. Because the moment truth finds a voice, everything begins to shift. What once looked like a dynasty, untouchable, immovable, solid, has begun to crumble. The family name they built like a monument to themselves is now falling apart brick by brick. The wealth they flaunted as a symbol of power, frozen, seized, dismantled. The titles they wore like armor doctor, CEO, trustee, benefactor, are being stripped, not quietly, but publicly. And the influence they once used as a weapon to silence you is now boomeranging back with force. Every pillar they leaned on is collapsing. They're losing board seats once secured by backroom favors. Business partners who once praised them in press releases are withdrawing support overnight. Friends who stood by them for photo ops are now erasing digital footprints, deleting pictures, removing tags, scrubbing mentions trying to pretend they were never involved. But the collapse is too big, too visible. This isn't just a fall from grace. It's a total dismantling of the illusion they worked so hard to build. Because the same web they spun to trap you is the one they're now entangled in. The same lies they used to shut doors on your face are now the reason every door is closing on them. Their network of manipulation, once so sophisticated, has become a stage for their downfall. And the irony? It's almost poetic. They built their empire by undermining your destiny, but in doing so, they triggered a sequence of divine events they could never escape. What they thought was a clever trap has become a net of reckoning, tightening with every exposed truth, with every consequence they can no longer avoid. The house of cards has finally met the wind, and now, everything is falling. Let this be the moment you finally remember the truth of who you are. You were never crazy for sensing something deeper. You were never wrong for believing you were meant for more. And you were certainly never unworthy. The resistance you faced wasn't proof of your weakness. It was confirmation of your calling. You weren't attached because you were broken. You were targeted because you were chosen. They saw your light before you did. And instead of honoring it, they tried to dim it. They tried to convince you it was all in your head, that the dreams in your heart were delusions. But every whisper of intuition, every glimpse of greater purpose, every tug on your soul, it was all real. It was always real. And now, what was once lost is returning to you, not quietly, but rushing in with force. Every blessing that carries your name is racing back to your life with interest. What was stolen is being returned. What was delayed is now accelerating. What was blocked is breaking open like a floodgate. This isn't about stepping into something new. This is about reclaiming what has always been yours. You're not being elevated to a level you didn't earn. You're being restored to the level that was always meant to be your starting point. You're not entering a chapter by accident. You're stepping back into alignment, back into divine order. This is your inheritance. This is your confirmation. This is your return. Let every moment of doubt fall away now. Let every lie that tried to shrink your worth dissolve in the light of this truth. You were always the one. And now, the world is about to see what heaven always knew. The restoration won't come in silence. It will be undeniable and magnificent. This moment has been written into your destiny long before the betrayal ever occurred. It's arriving with a force that cannot be ignored. What's coming won't just be felt. It will be witnessed, public, documented, historic. A letter is on its way. A call is being made. An unexpected message from someone in authority, an official, a lawyer, a decision maker will finally say the words your soul has longed to hear. This is yours. And we're returning it. But this isn't just about getting back what was taken. The universe never settles for breaking even. No, divine justice calculates the loss of time, the weight of suffering, the missed potential, and it repays it all with multiplication. The property that was withheld? It has increased in value. The investments that were misdirected? They've matured far beyond their original worth. The connections you were denied. They've grown, evolved, and now open doors you never imagined. The opportunities you were kept from. They've multiplied in your absence, waiting for your return. This isn't just a comeback, it's a quantum leap forward. Not a return to where you were, but an arrival at where you would have been if the delay had never happened. The restoration is not just about compensation. It's about elevation. It's about alignment. It's about the fulfillment of every promise that was ever whispered to your spirit in the quiet hours of hope. Because what's returning now is not just yours. It's more than you ever dared to expect. This is your evolution, and it begins now. The stage is set. The actors are in position. The audience is seated, and the spotlight is turning. This is the final act, not of your downfall, but of your divine ascension. And the family who tried to write you out of your own script. They just became a cautionary tale, because fame is coming, but not the kind they wanted, and blessing is coming, exactly the kind you deserve. Now the universe has made its ruling. Case closed. Verdict, victory, and the one walking away with divine recompense, with honor, legacy, wealth, and purpose, is you. Beloved chosen one, if you're listening to this message right now, take a deep breath and know this. It's not by accident. This moment was divinely orchestrated, a sacred appointment between your spirit and the voice of destiny. Something is awakening inside of you, a stirring you can't quite explain, and as your heart quickens and your spirit leans in, I invite you to receive this truth. You have been chosen by the Creator Himself. Chosen for transformation, for renewal, and for a purpose greater than anything you've ever imagined. He is about to release into your life something so beautiful, so astonishing, that even your reflection in the mirror will be a sign and wonder. Prepare yourself, for you are stepping into a divine metamorphosis, a season of supernatural youth, healing, and radiance, a gift of God's eternal touch. Part 1. The divine shift has begun. When God turns His gaze upon you, when His divine hand rests gently yet powerfully upon your life, something profound begins to unfold like the first light of morning, breaking through a long and silent night. At first, the change is subtle, almost imperceptible. But soon, the world around you begins to sense it. There's a shift in your stride, a strength that wasn't there before. Your eyes reflect something deeper without uttering a word. Your very presence begins to stir the atmosphere around you. This is not imagination. This is not a coincidence. This is the undeniable mark of someone touched by heaven. God's transformation does not stop at the soul. It flows like a river from your spirit into your thoughts, your emotions, your very body. What once clung to you, weariness, sorrow, fear, begins to fall away like dust shaken from your feet. The tiredness that once settled in your bones is replaced by divine vitality. The heaviness in your heart is lifted by the breath of the Holy Spirit, and in its place, a lightness enters, full of beauty, purpose, and sacred energy. You begin to feel alive in ways you had long forgotten. But make no mistake, this is not about vanity. It's about victory. Victory over the slow erosion of hope, over despair that once whispered lies to your soul. Victory over the limitations others placed upon you and the ones you unknowingly placed upon yourself. This transformation is holy. It is heaven's way of saying, you are not who you used to be. You are being made new. From spirit to skin, renewal touches every part of you. It doesn't just lift your spirit, it awakens it. It doesn't just refresh your body, it resurrects it. The Holy Spirit is not simply improving you, He is redefining you. And as this divine shift takes root, the reflection you see in the mirror will no longer just show a face, it will reveal a testimony. A living, breathing, radiant example of what it looks like when God steps into a life and says, "Now, let there be light." Part 2. The eternal youth of the chosen. The renewal that God is bringing into your life is not simply about appearing younger, It is about being realigned with the eternal design He wove into your very being from the beginning. You were never meant to merely exist or survive. You were created to shine, to reflect the very essence of His beauty, His radiance, and His glory in a way that only you can. And now, that divine light is awakening within your body, as if heaven itself is breathing life into every cell. The changes may begin quietly, but they are unmistakably sacred. Your skin begins to carry a glow no serum could create, a softness kissed by grace, a light that seems to come from somewhere beyond this world. Your back straightens, not merely from better posture, but from a divine sense of confidence. Your laughter becomes more free, your smile more effortless, touched by joy that is not fleeting but anchored in eternity. This is not a surface-level transformation. This is not a human-made makeover. This is the touch of the Creator restoring what time and trials tried to steal from you. Your very cells seem to respond to His voice, aligning with the rhythm of heaven, and your spirit, once weary, now rises in resurrection power, lifting your entire being into newness. You are becoming more than changed. You are becoming renewed, reawakened, reborn into the beauty and strength that was always yours through Christ. You are a walking miracle, a living, breathing testimony of divine restoration. Where the world sees age and decline, God speaks of revival. Where others see limits, He whispers, "Watch what I can do." This is the fulfillment of His promise in Joel 2:25. I will restore the years the locusts have eaten. And that restoration is not only emotional or spiritual, it is tangible. It is radiant. And as you walk in this eternal youth, know this: you are not going backward. You are moving forward into a divine version of yourself that time cannot touch and no man can replicate. Part 3. What the world will see. Make no mistake, when God transforms you, the change is impossible to hide. It will be a holy echo that resonates wherever you go. People around you will begin to take notice. They'll glance twice. They'll ask questions, curious, intrigued, even baffled. What's different about you? Some might assume it's a new routine, a better diet, a different skincare regimen. They'll search for a worldly explanation to make sense of something that is completely divine. But deep down, you will know the truth. You've had an encounter with the living God, and that encounter has redefined your very essence. This isn't a glow that can be bought, or a light that can be faked. It is the radiance of heaven shining through a vessel made willing. There will be a brightness in your eyes, a peace in your expression, and a clarity in your voice that commands respect, not through force, but through quiet authority. You won't have to announce your transformation. It will speak for itself. This is not about drawing attention to yourself or seeking validation from others. It's about becoming a reflection of the one who chose you. The glow they see? It's not just light. It's the evidence of His Spirit alive within you. It's the shine of grace, the fire of purpose, and the whisper of eternity woven into your daily walk. And yes, some may misunderstand. Some may resist what they cannot explain. But no one will be able to deny it. You are becoming a sign and a wonder, a walking revelation of divine craftsmanship, of a life rewritten by grace. And wherever you go, the world will see heaven's fingerprints on you. Part 4. Letting go to step into new life. Every divine transformation demands a release, a sacred shedding of the old to make room for what is new, holy, and destined. Just as a butterfly cannot take flight while clinging to the confines of its cocoon, you too must release the versions of yourself that no longer serve the brilliance of your divine identity. This is not just about letting go of habits. It's about surrendering patterns of thought, worn-out beliefs, and connections that have weighed down your wings. The toxic relationships that drained your spirit, the doubt that whispered you were never enough, the weariness that settled into your bones like winter, all of it must be laid at the feet of the one who is making you new. What God is building within you cannot exist alongside the limitations of your past. His glory will not be shared with anything that dims your light. This is your pruning season, not to punish, but to prepare. And yes, it may feel like a loss at first, but in truth, it is divine realignment. God is not taking from you. He is clearing space within you for something far greater. He is severing the ties that no longer carry your purpose. He is gently, lovingly, removing what cannot thrive in your next chapter. In its place, He is planting seeds of holy possibility, relationships that honor your soul, opportunities that align with your calling, and strength that flows not from striving, but from grace. Letting go in this season is not a sign of weakness. It is a bold act of faith. Faith that what God is preparing exceeds anything you could imagine. Faith that the loss is not loss at all, but transformation in disguise. Faith that the hands of the gardener know what must be trimmed to make you flourish. So don't cling to what was. Instead, open your hands, open your heart, and trust that what lies ahead is far more beautiful than anything you leave behind. Part 5. Embracing the new you. As you continue walking through this sacred transformation, you are not becoming someone else. You are becoming you, the you God designed before the foundations of the earth. It's a beautiful unveiling, not a reinvention. Layer by layer, He is stripping away everything that was never meant to define you. And in this divine revealing, long-buried dreams begin to stir again. Passions you once silenced come back to life, now burning brighter than before. You start to remember the visions you thought were lost to time. And in the mirror, you finally see someone you recognize, not just by features, but by purpose. And you whisper with awe, "Yes, that's me. That's who God created." With this rediscovery comes a new kind of confidence, one not born of ego, but of sacred identity. It's not about walking taller to be seen, it's about walking truer because you finally know who you are. This is the quiet boldness of someone who understands they are God's handiwork, His masterpiece, His chosen one. You begin to move through the world differently. Your words carry more weight, not because they're louder, but because they're anchored in truth. Even your silence holds power because your very presence speaks of healing, wholeness, and heaven's touch. Everything about you begins to declare, without apology or hesitation, "I am loved. I am called. I am new." And the world around you will feel it, even if they can't explain it. Because when you walk in alignment with the identity God has placed within you, you don't just live, you radiate. You become a reflection of divine possibility. And the more you embrace who you truly are in Christ, the more unstoppable, unshakable, and undeniably radiant you become. Part 6. Resistance, Refinement, and Rising Higher. As the transformation within you deepens, not everyone will understand the changes they see. Some will question it, unable to reconcile the person you are becoming with the version of you they once knew. Others may quietly pull away, unsettled by the light you now carry, a light that challenges their comfort zones. They were familiar with the older version of you, the one who dimmed your shine to fit in, who carried your brilliance in silence. But now, as you rise into your God-given identity, that familiar version fades, and with it, the attachments that were never meant to last. And though this can feel painful, like relational tides shifting without warning, it is not rejection, it is refinement. God is using this season to reveal who is truly aligned with your divine journey. He is allowing your transformation to be the mirror that reflects hearts and motives, exposing what can no longer walk beside you. This is not a punishment, it is a gift. For in shedding what no longer fits, you create space for what is sacred. Divinely appointed relationships that see you not only for who you were, but for who you are becoming. These are the ones who recognize your growth and celebrate it. They water your dreams, honor your healing, and speak life into your calling. And as you continue to rise, you'll gain more than just a new community, you'll gain clarity. Not only about who is for you, but about who you truly are. You begin to see with spiritual eyes, realizing that resistance is not always opposition. It's often confirmation that you are walking the right path. The brighter your light, the more it exposes. But don't fear it. Embrace it. Because this clarity, though born from discomfort, is the soil in which your next level will flourish. You are not losing people, you are gaining perspective. And what awaits you ahead is far greater than what's been left behind. Part 7. Walking in God's Purpose. The transformation that God is working in your life was never meant to stop at outward beauty. It is far deeper, far more sacred. It is about divine alignment. Every change you feel, every shift you sense, is part of a holy realignment. God is bringing your body, your spirit, your relationships, and your dreams into harmony with the divine path He has already prepared for you. He is not simply polishing you, He is positioning you. That's why doors are opening that you never knocked on, and people are being removed or introduced with such divine precision. It's not random. It's not chaos. It's purpose. What feels like surprise to you is a strategy to Him. God is leading you into spaces you never expected to enter, into rooms where your name is spoken with honor, into conversations you never planned but deeply needed, and into opportunities that once seemed distant or even impossible. And yet, in your spirit, there's a quiet knowing. This is where I'm meant to be. God has been orchestrating every step, every delay, every detour to bring you into perfect alignment with your calling. This is the beauty of walking in God's purpose. It's not always predictable, but it is always intentional. Every encounter has meaning. Every redirection has mercy behind it. And as you surrender to His movement, you'll notice your entire life beginning to flow with greater ease. Decisions feel clearer. Timing feels divine. That's because when you walk in step with heaven, even the hard things begin to make sense. Even the closed doors feel like blessings in disguise. God is writing a story through your life, and it's a story of redemption, beauty, and power. You are not being transformed for appearance's sake. You are being prepared to carry His glory in a way that changes lives. He is aligning every part of you to fulfill a promise spoken over you long ago. And now, as you walk in His purpose, you are walking into the fulfillment of that promise, one step at a time, guided by His hand, anchored in His love. Part 8. Becoming a living testimony. As you continue to walk this sacred, spirit-led path, something extraordinary will become a catalyst for transformation in others. The change God is bringing into your life is not only for your benefit, it is a testimony in motion, a living message that others will read before they ever open a Bible. When people see the glow on your face, the peace in your heart, and the strength in your step, they'll pause, they'll wonder, and in that moment of awe, their hearts will whisper a quiet hope. If God could do that for them, maybe He can do it for me too. You may never know the full impact of your transformation, but heaven will. Because your life will speak louder than any sermon. You'll carry God's message without needing a stage. Your very presence will preach resurrection. The radiance in your eyes will testify to healing. The joy that flows from your spirit, effortless, anchored, and unshakable, will be proof of divine intervention. You won't have to convince people with words. The fruit of your transformation will speak for itself. It will whisper to the broken. It will shout to the weary. It will call the doubting back to faith. And this transformation won't be a one-time moment. It will be a continuous unfolding. You'll go from youth to strength, from sorrow to deep, abiding peace. The confusion that once clouded your mind will be replaced by clarity rooted in divine wisdom. It will be layer upon layer of glory, revealing more and more of God's goodness with every step you take. Each chapter of your journey will declare something new, that He restores what was lost, that He brings beauty out of ashes, that He renews strength like the eagle. So now, chosen one, as you stand at the edge of this divine transformation, don't look back. Don't question what God is doing. Step forward, eyes lifted, heart open. The Creator of heaven and earth has looked upon you and said, "You are mine, and I am making all things new." This is your moment. This is your time. You are not just living. You are glowing. You are rising. You are walking in miracles, from the inside out. From glory to glory, from ordinary to extraordinary. You were never meant to blend in. You were made to shine. And now, you will. If this message resonated with your spirit, we invite you to leave the number 77 in the comments. It's a number of divine alignment, completion, and purpose. Let it be your yes to the transformation God is stirring within you. If you'd like to support us in creating more messages like this, consider clicking the subscribe button. Every kind gesture fuels our passion to serve this beautiful chosen community. Until next time, stay radiant, stay faithful, and never forget, you are chosen. Imagine waking up one day to realize that everything you've ever endured, every hardship, every tear, every lonely moment, has been preparing you for this very moment. It's not just another day on the calendar, it's the day your life changes forever. A day that has been written in the stars, foretold by the ancient prophets, and woven into the very fabric of your being. That day is March 31st. This day is not just an ordinary date. It is a divine threshold, a cosmic event that will either propel you into your destiny or leave you trapped in the same cycles of doubt and uncertainty. The veil between heaven and earth is growing thinner, and the divine energies of the universe are stirring. Can you feel it? That restlessness deep within you, that unexplainable knowing that something monumental is about to unfold? The world has tried to silence you, doubt you, reject you, but March 31st is the day the world will see the truth. The day your enemies, those who mocked and abandoned you, will witness your supernatural elevation. When God's hand moves, nothing can stand in its way. If you are feeling this message in your spirit right now, let's subscribe and comment 777 to know this. You have been called for such a time as this. The journey of the chosen ones is rarely an easy one. In fact, it is often marked by struggles, rejection, and battles that may seem impossible to understand, even by those closest to you. If you have ever found yourself feeling alone, misunderstood, or as though the weight of the world is against you, you are not alone. Throughout history, the chosen ones have walked a path that the world often cannot comprehend. This path is not paved with comfort or ease, but with moments of hardship and isolation. From the time of Moses, who was raised in exile and called to lead a nation from slavery, to David, who was overlooked by his own family and forced to fight battles no one expected him to win, the stories of God's chosen vessels throughout the Bible have one common theme. The road to greatness is not an easy one, but within this journey of struggle lies divine purpose. The chosen ones have been called not in spite of their struggles, but because of them. Each trial, each setback, and each moment of rejection has been part of a greater divine plan. The pain, isolation, and loss that you may have experienced were never meant to break you. They were the very things that were shaping you, preparing you for the divine appointments that are about to unfold in your life. In the wilderness, where you may have felt abandoned or overlooked, God was quietly working in the background, molding you into the person you needed to become. The trials that seemed unbearable were actually the tools God was using to refine you, to strengthen your faith, and to prepare you for what was to come. The path of the chosen ones is often one of loneliness, like Moses, who spent years in exile before returning to lead the Israelites, or David, who was anointed as king but spent years in the wilderness fleeing from Saul. You too may have found yourself in seasons of loneliness and isolation. These seasons were not signs of abandonment, nor were they a reflection of your worth or value. They were simply the preparation God was using to get you ready for your appointed time. The Bible makes it clear that God's chosen ones are often called to a higher purpose, but this higher purpose comes at a cost. The path to greatness is never smooth, but it is always purposeful. The chosen ones are not those who are born into comfort or ease. Rather, they are those who have faced trials and have come out stronger on the other side. Think about Esther, who was not chosen by chance, but was divinely positioned for such a time as this. Esther's journey began in a season of exile and hardship, yet God orchestrated every detail of her life to position her for the pivotal moment when she would save her people from destruction. Esther's beauty and favor were not just a result of her appearance, they were the tools God used to position her in the palace, where she would have the opportunity to stand in the gap for her nation. Her calling was not an accident. She was prepared through trials, through moments of uncertainty, and through seasons of waiting. Just as Esther was placed for her purpose, you too have been positioned for such a time as this. Your life has not been a series of random events. It has been a divinely orchestrated journey, leading you to this very moment. If you look closely at your life, you will see that it is marked with moments of divine intervention, moments when you were guided toward people, places, and opportunities that you could never have anticipated. These are the divine appointments that God has set in motion for you long before you were born. Whether it was a chance encounter with someone who changed your life, a dream that led you down a new path, or a sudden moment of clarity that unlocked the answers to questions you've been asking for years. These divine encounters are not coincidences. They are signs that you are walking the path that God has planned for you. Just like Esther, who stepped into her calling at just the right time, so too will you step into the purpose God has written for you. It's time for the chosen ones to rise, to walk into their destiny, and to fulfill the divine calling that has been upon their lives since the beginning of time. The trials you faced were never meant to defeat you. They were meant to prepare you. Your losses, your moments of grief, your seasons of waiting, all of these have been part of the divine shaping process. God has been preparing you to carry out the work that He has called you to do. You may have asked why things didn't happen the way you expected, or why your journey has been marked with so many difficulties. But understand this: it is not the absence of struggle that prepares you. It is the way you rise through it. Each obstacle, each challenge, has been God's way of refining you, strengthening you, and making you ready for the purpose that lies ahead. In the Bible, we see time and time again that the greatest leaders, the most powerful vessels of God's work, were not chosen because of their comfort, but because of their perseverance through trials. Consider Joseph, who, before ever standing before Pharaoh, was thrown into a pit by his brothers, sold into slavery, and imprisoned for years. His dreams of greatness seemed to be cruel jokes, mocked by the very people who should have supported him. Yet all of his suffering was part of the process that prepared him to become the second in command in Egypt, where he would save his family and his nation from famine. Joseph was refined through hardship, and his calling was fulfilled because he chose to rise above his circumstances and trust in God's plan for his life. Like Joseph, you may have endured seasons of hardship, betrayal, and pain, but these experiences have not been for nothing. They have been the furnace in which your purpose has been forged. The wilderness is not meant to break you, it is meant to build you. Like gold that is refined in the fire, your character has been shaped and purified by the trials you've faced. Your perseverance through these challenges has made you ready to rise and walk into the calling that God has for you. The path of the chosen ones is one of endurance. It is not about avoiding hardship, but about trusting that through every trial, God is with you, refining you, and preparing you for the work ahead. The time has come for the chosen ones to rise. Your divine purpose has been set in motion. The experiences you have lived, the pain you have endured, and the moments of doubt you have faced have all led you to this moment in time. It is time to step into the divine calling that has always been yours. You are not meant to fit in with the ordinary. You are called to stand out, to be a light in the darkness, to bring solutions to the world's greatest problems, and to lead others to the truth of God's love and power. So, if you have felt abandoned, isolated, or rejected, remember this: your trials are not the end of your story. They are the preparation for your greatest breakthrough. Your calling is not on hold. It is being prepared. And it is time for you to rise and step into your divine purpose. The path of the chosen ones is one of struggle, yes, but it is also one of glory, of purpose, and of ultimate victory. It is time to walk boldly into the destiny that has been written for you from the very beginning. As the date of March 31st draws near, something extraordinary is beginning to unfold, one that will reverberate throughout the lives of those who are spiritually awake. For many, March 31st will seem like just another day on the calendar, another fleeting moment in the endless march of time. Yet for the chosen ones, those whose hearts have been attuned to the whispers of heaven, March 31st marks something far more significant. It is not just a simple day, it is a divine moment, a cosmic alignment that will change the course of their lives forever. On this day, heaven and earth will converge in a way that has been divinely orchestrated long before the beginning of time. It is a day when the spiritual realms will be in perfect alignment with the physical world, creating a moment of profound opportunity for those who are ready to embrace it. Those who have walked through seasons of struggle, confusion, and isolation will find that the doors that have remained locked for years will suddenly swing wide open. Promises that have laid dormant, forgotten in the depths of your soul, will come alive with unprecedented clarity and purpose. What once seemed like an impossible dream will transform into a tangible reality, and long-awaited blessings will begin to pour into your life. Divine connections, those relationships and appointments that were preordained before you were born, will manifest at exactly the right time. It will feel as though the universe itself has aligned to bring you the opportunities and breakthroughs you need to step into the calling you were always destined to fulfill. However, despite the incredible blessings and revelations that are set to unfold on March 31st, there is one crucial factor that will determine whether or not you are able to fully experience this divine moment. That factor is preparation. The key to unlocking the full potential of this divine appointment lies in how ready you are to receive it. For many, the arrival of March 31st will be a moment of spiritual separation, a defining line between those who are spiritually awake and those who remain trapped in darkness, oblivious to the sacred opportunity right in front of them. Will you be among those who recognize the significance of this day and step boldly into your divine destiny? Or will you remain spiritually asleep, missing the extraordinary moment that God has set before you? The choice is yours. This day will act as a test, a challenge to the readiness of your heart and spirit. It will be a line drawn in the sand that will separate the prepared from the unprepared. For those who have been spiritually diligent, those who have cultivated a heart of obedience and discernment, March 31st will bring a supernatural acceleration in their lives. You will experience breakthroughs, revelations, and an awakening that will propel you into the next phase of your divine journey. But for those who have neglected their spiritual preparation, who have allowed the distractions and noise of the world to cloud their vision, March 31st may pass by unnoticed. It may be just another day, another ordinary moment in the stream of time. But for the chosen ones, the ones who have been watching, waiting, and listening for the call of God, this date will mark the beginning of a new season of favor, purpose, and divine fulfillment. The signs that this moment is approaching are already here. If you have been paying attention, you may have noticed certain patterns appearing in your life, repeated numbers, strange synchronicities, vivid dreams, or moments of sudden clarity that seem to come from nowhere. These are not coincidences. These are God's whispers, gently guiding you toward the breakthrough that is about to unfold. They are divine signals, preparing you for what is coming, preparing you for the day when heaven touches earth in a way that will change your destiny. These signs are not random. They are pieces of a divine puzzle, leading you toward your moment of activation. Numbers like 111, 333, 555, and 777 may appear frequently in your life, and you may wonder what they mean. These are not just numbers, they are divine markers, each one holding a specific meaning and significance. They are reminders that the universe is aligning to bring you into your divine purpose. When you see these numbers, understand that God is speaking to you. He is telling you that something monumental is about to happen. He is opening the doors that have long been shut, and He is preparing you to step into the destiny that you were always meant to fulfill. These signs, whether they appear in the form of numbers, dreams, or encounters with people are the way God communicates with those who are spiritually sensitive. They are His way of confirming that you are on the right path, that the time for your breakthrough is drawing near. And yet, even with these divine signs, the real question remains: will you be ready? The world is full of distractions, and it is easy to become so absorbed in the busyness of life that we miss the divine moments that God is setting before us. But God is calling you to wake up, to rise above the distractions of the world, and to see the truth that is unfolding around you. He is calling you to align yourself with His will, to tune out the noise, and to listen for His voice. March 31st will not be an ordinary day, but the key to experiencing its power lies in your ability to perceive the significance of the moment. The spiritual atmosphere is shifting, and those who are spiritually awake will feel it. You may have already begun to notice that your energy is changing. You may feel an increasing sense of urgency in your spirit, a growing awareness that something significant is approaching. This is not anxiety, it is divine anticipation. Your spirit recognizes that the veil between the physical and spiritual realms is thinning, and the time for your breakthrough is drawing near. But you must be prepared. You must position yourself to receive the abundant blessings and opportunities that are about to manifest. This means making time to tune in to the whispers of God, to spend time in prayer and meditation, to open your heart to His guidance. It means being intentional with your time, your energy, and your focus. When you are spiritually prepared, you will recognize the significance of March 31st as it arrives, and you will be ready to step into your divine calling without hesitation. Heaven is waiting for your response. The universe is aligning to bring you exactly what you need to fulfill your divine purpose. But God will not force His will upon you. He will not force you to step into your destiny. You must choose to respond. You must choose to rise above the distractions, to awaken your spirit, and to take action. March 31st is a moment of divine opportunity, but only those who are prepared will fully experience its power. Heaven is waiting for you to step forward, to claim your divine appointment, and to embrace the transformation that is coming. Will you be ready when the moment arrives? The time for hesitation is over. The time to step into your divine destiny is now. March 31st is a day like no other. It is a divine invitation, a moment that has been planned long before you were born. The question is, will you recognize it for what it is? Will you open your heart to the divine timing that is unfolding? Will you step boldly into your calling and take hold of the breakthrough that God has prepared for you? The signs are here, the opportunity is before you, and the time to act is now. Heaven is waiting for you to take that step. It is time to embrace your calling and walk boldly into the purpose that God has designed for you from the foundation of the world. As you stand on the threshold of this new season, remember, the enemy will try to distract you, to make you doubt, to make you feel unworthy. But you were chosen before time began, and March 31st is the moment when you will rise, unshaken, into the fullness of your destiny. This is your divine awakening, your moment of transformation. The time to act is now. Step forward, for the kingdom of heaven is waiting for you. Listen closely, chosen ones. The veil between heaven and earth grows thinner by the day. Can you feel it? That subtle stirring in your soul? The atmosphere has shifted. Something divine is unfolding, not in the far-off future, but now. A movement is taking place in the unseen realms. The messengers of heaven have descended. The four angels, not symbols, not metaphors, but real, appointed servants of the Most High, have arrived, and they come bearing messages that will forever reshape your understanding of who you are and why you're here. This message is not for everyone. It is not for the comfortable, the complacent, or the curious. It is for the called, the 144,000, those who have been marked, set apart, chosen from before the foundations of the world. If these words strike something deep within you, if your heart is pounding and your spirit is trembling with recognition, then this message was always meant for you. Comment 999 below as a public declaration. I recognize the call of God on my life, because everything is about to change. Have you ever asked yourself why your path has always felt so different? Why your journey has been marked by deeper battles, heavier burdens, and a sense of loneliness that others seem untouched by? While many around you move through life with ease, fitting effortlessly into the world's patterns, you've always felt like an outsider, like a soul walking against the current. But this difference hasn't been a punishment. It's been preparation, a divine shaping, a holy refining. From the very beginning, God set you apart. You were never meant to blend in. That ache you feel deep in your spirit, that quiet, persistent longing for something more, is not a sign of discontent. It's the echo of eternity within you. It's heaven whispering to your soul. You were born for something greater. You've always sensed it, haven't you? That your life carries a weight, a calling, something sacred woven into your very being. And now, the time of waiting is over. The moment you've felt approaching for so long has finally arrived. The four angels have come, not with gentle reassurances or vague encouragements, but with divine mandates. Their messages will stir your soul, challenge your comfort, and ignite something eternal within you. These are not ordinary words. They are assignments from heaven. Once you hear them, you will not be the same. Because truth, once revealed, cannot be unseen. This is your awakening. This is your summons. You are not being asked to observe. You are being called to arise. So the question now is not, did God call me? The question is, are you ready? Ready to walk away from what's familiar. Ready to step into who you truly are. Because the moment of awakening is here. Message 1. Look into your life. You were never meant to belong. The first angel speaks, and his voice slices through the noise like a sword of light. Look into your life. These words are not a suggestion. They are a divine summons. For too long, you have lived under illusions, wrapped in the layers of a broken system that taught you to chase what was never meant for you. From your earliest days, the world handed you a script, telling you what to want, how to act, who to be. Success was defined by money. Value was measured by applause. Identity was shaped by the approval of others. You were told to climb the ladder, to accumulate, to impress. But deep down, none of it ever felt right, did it? That restless tension in your soul, the feeling that no matter how hard you try, something essential is still missing. It's not a flaw. It's confirmation. You were never designed to fit into a world built on empty pursuits. You were never meant to belong to it. Jesus said in John 15:19, if you belong to the world, it would love you as its own. As it is, you do not belong to the world, but I have chosen you out of the world. That unease you feel isn't confusion, it's calling. That quiet ache within you is heaven reminding you of your true identity. You were chosen, handpicked by God to walk a different path, one not defined by comfort, but by purpose. You've always known it, haven't you? That your story would never look like theirs, that your soul was wired for something more. Think of Moses, raised in Pharaoh's palace, surrounded by riches, influence, and power, everything the world could offer. He had access to the finest education, the grandest halls, and the highest status, but none of it could quiet the cry in his spirit. Though he wore the garments of royalty, something within him whispered, "This is not who I am." Moses could have stayed. He could have lived out his days in luxury and ease. But when the time came, he chose to walk away from false identity and step into divine purpose. He left the palace to lead his people to freedom. He exchanged comfort for calling. And in doing so, he stepped into history. His story mirrors your own. What palaces are you still clinging to? What lies have wrapped themselves around your identity? Is it a career that pays well but drains your soul? A version of yourself you maintain just to be accepted? A title, an image, a lifestyle that looks good on the outside but feels hollow within? The world is full of these illusions. It packages emptiness as success, busyness as worth, and applause as love. But you were made for truth. And the first step toward awakening is to tear down the walls of illusion and ask the question few dare to face. Who am I really? Consider Malcolm X. Once caught in a life of crime, shaped by systems that tried to define him, he eventually encountered truth, and it awakened something within him that could not be silenced. He refused to continue living a lie. He broke free from the mold and walked boldly into purpose. His transformation impacted the world. Even Jim Carrey, a man who seemingly had it all, once said, "I wish everyone could become rich and famous so they could see it's not the answer." Because it's not. The world's promises shine like gold, but crumble like dust in your hands. They are distractions, counterfeits, shadows. And now, the angel's voice grows louder. How long will you stay asleep? How long will you chase what you already know cannot satisfy? How long will you keep trying to earn love, prove worth, or fit into spaces you were never meant to occupy? It's time to awaken, to see the world as it is, and to step into who you truly are. Let go of the illusion. Let go of the false chase for success, for fame, for fleeting approval. You were not born to conform. You were born to awaken. Message 2. Stand apart. The rejection was never random. The second angel speaks. Stand apart. Have you ever questioned why you're so often misunderstood? Why people turn away from you, grow cold, or even oppose you without reason? It's not because you've done something wrong. It's because the light within you reveals what others would rather keep hidden. Your spirit carries truth, and that truth confronts the illusions people cling to. Even in silence, your presence speaks, and that alone is enough to disturb the comfort of those still bound by darkness. Jesus himself said in John 15:18, "If the world hates you, keep in mind that it hated me first." The world does not reject you because you're broken, but because you're chosen. Your rejection is not your ruin, it is your revelation. Look at Joseph. His own brothers hated him, not because he failed them, but because of the divine favor upon his life. They were disturbed by his dreams, threatened by his calling. So they threw him into a pit, hoping to destroy what they didn't understand. But that pit became the very path to his purpose. As Joseph would later declare, "What you meant for evil, God meant for good." And the same is true for you. Throughout history, this pattern repeats. Nikola Tesla, a man ahead of his time, was mocked and erased because his brilliance shook the foundations of power. Albert Einstein was labeled slow as a child, misunderstood because his genius didn't conform to the system. Oprah Winfrey was told she wasn't good enough, yet those very wounds became the soil from which her destiny bloomed. These stories confirm what your soul already knows. You were never meant to be accepted. You were meant to be set apart. So let the world reject you. Let them question, mock, or misunderstand you. Their rejection is not a verdict. It's a signpost pointing to the hand of God on your life. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. Heaven sees you. Message 3. Obey without delay. Time is running out. The third angel thunders. Obey without delay. This is not the hour to hesitate. The call has already been given. The mission is not somewhere out in the distance. It's already in your hands. Deep down, you know what you're called to do. You've felt it stirring in your spirit, echoing in your heart. The question is no longer what you're meant to do. It's when you will act. How many more signs do you need? How many times must God confirm what he has already spoken before you finally step forward? One of the enemy's most subtle and devastating weapons isn't always opposition. It's hesitation. It's the quiet voice that says, "Later. Wait. You're not ready yet." It's distraction, busyness, second-guessing, and delay. But hear this truth clearly. Delayed obedience is still disobedience. Think of Moses standing before the burning bush, questioning if he was capable. Think of Esther, trembling before the king, risking everything for a people in peril. Think of David, young and underestimated, running toward a giant with nothing but a sling and faith. None of them felt fully prepared, but they obeyed, and their obedience didn't just fulfill their calling, it unleashed miracles. The Israelites didn't see the Red Sea part until they moved. The walls of Jericho didn't fall until they marched. What miracles in your life are still waiting for your first step of faith? Even outside of Scripture, this principle stands. Steve Jobs once said, "Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life." Elon Musk was mocked and doubted, but he pressed forward, not because it was easy, but because he believed in the mission. And now, it's your turn. Stop waiting to feel ready. You are ready because God has already called you. The windows of opportunity won't remain open forever. If you don't move now, you risk missing the very thing you've been praying for. The time is now. Heaven is waiting. Will you obey? Message 4. Speak the truth. Let your voice roar. The fourth angel speaks, and his words burn like fire. Speak the truth. Your voice was never meant for silence. It was forged in heaven to break chains, to shatter deception, to awaken those who have been lulled to sleep by the lies of this world. You were given divine sight not to remain quiet, but to speak boldly what others are too afraid to say. In a world drowning in confusion and compromise, your voice is a trumpet, a call to return, a sound that leads the lost back home. When God called the prophet Jeremiah, he protested, "I do not know how to speak." But God responded with power. "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart and appointed you as a prophet to the nations." That same anointing rests on you. You were not randomly chosen. You were called, prepared, and positioned for such a time as this. The enemy has done everything to silence you. He's whispered lies that your voice doesn't matter, that your words will fall flat, that no one will listen. But the truth is this: your silence is his greatest victory, and you were never meant to hand it to him. Look at John the Baptist. He didn't whisper in comfort. He cried out in the wilderness. Elijah stood alone on Mount Carmel, confronting hundreds of false prophets with nothing but truth and boldness. And Jesus, our Savior, was not crucified for remaining silent. He was crucified because his truth shook the foundations of power and exposed what the world wanted hidden. You are part of that same spiritual lineage. Their fire runs through your veins. Their courage rests in your spirit. And now, it's your turn. Open your mouth. Speak, not with fear, not with apology, but with the unshakable authority of heaven itself. The world needs your voice, and heaven has already given you the words. Chosen one. This is not just a message. It is a divine summons. The four angels have spoken, and their voices echo through the spirit realm, calling you out of hiding, out of hesitation, and into the fullness of your purpose. The question now is no longer if God has called you. That has already been settled. The real question is, will you respond? This is your moment. No more delay. No more shrinking back. No more playing small in a world that needs your light to shine in full strength. You were born for this. You were fashioned for such a time as this. To rise, to speak, to lead, to carry heaven's fire into the darkest places. So now, let us pray together, not out of habit, but as a bold declaration of surrender and obedience. Heavenly Father, you have called me. You have chosen me. You have placed your fire within me. I repent for every moment I allowed fear to silence me, for every time I waited when I should have moved. Today, I say yes. I will not delay. I will not hesitate. I will not shrink back. Anoint my voice, O Lord. Let it roar with the power of your Spirit. Let every chain be broken through the truth I declare. I am not here to please the world. I am here to fulfill your will. Strengthen me, lead me, use me. Let your boldness rise in me, and let your words flow through me. Set me apart, and send me where you need me most. For yours is the kingdom, the power, and the glory. In Jesus' mighty name I pray, Amen. You are not just being invited into a mission. You are being commissioned. Step forward. Heaven is already moving. Now it's your turn. You are part of something bigger than yourself. You are one of the 144,000, not merely a number, but a movement, a remnant, a force of light in a world of darkness, a generation rising up to fulfill prophecy and bring about God's divine plan on earth. Let this message take root in your soul. Let it stir you to action. And if this word has resonated deeply within you, consider supporting this mission through a super thanks or by simply liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing. Your support in any form helps spread this fire. Share your thoughts in the comments. How is God calling you? What has this message awakened in you? Let your voice be heard. It may be the very thing someone else needs to step into their destiny. Thank you for being part of this divine community. May God bless you. May His angels go before you. And may you walk boldly in the purpose for which you were created. Chosen one, you did not find this message by chance. You were meant to be here, at this exact moment hearing these words. The universe, the divine, and the forces beyond the veil have aligned to bring you to this revelation. Tonight marks the beginning of something profound, an event that has been foretold for centuries, hidden in ancient texts, whispered in sacred prophecies, and now unfolding in real time. The 144,000 chosen ones are gathering not in the physical world but in the higher realms, where energy, destiny, and divine purpose intersect. Do you feel it? That deep stirring within your soul? That undeniable sensation that something powerful is shifting in the unseen world? The veil between dimensions is thinner than ever before. Those attuned to the spiritual realm will feel an unmistakable energy coursing through them. Some will experience prophetic dreams, divine messages, or a profound sense of unity with something greater than themselves. This is the moment of activation. If you have ever questioned your purpose, if you have ever felt different, if you have ever sensed that you were meant for something greater, this is your confirmation. You are part of this. You are one of the 144,000. For generations, the prophecy of the 144,000 has echoed through time, woven into ancient texts, sacred teachings, and mystical revelations. It is not a forgotten myth nor a distant legend, but a divine code, a calling written into the very fabric of existence. This prophecy speaks of a hidden force, a sacred army of light destined to rise when the world reaches its darkest hour. Their purpose is not conquest nor destruction, but awakening a great unveiling of truth that will shatter the illusions that have bound humanity for ages. Throughout history, many have encountered this number in religious scriptures and esoteric teachings, yet few have grasped its true significance. Some believe it represents a literal group of souls, predetermined from the beginning of time. Others see it as a symbolic force, a vast collective consciousness awakening to its divine purpose. But the truth runs deeper than mere numbers or abstract interpretations. The 144,000 are not just a statistic, they are a movement, a force of transformation, a beacon of divine energy radiating across the spiritual realms. Unlike the rulers of this world, they are not chosen based on material wealth, social status, or earthly power. They are not recognized by crowns, titles, or possessions. Instead, they are marked by the strength of their spirit, the purity of their mission, and their unshakable connection to the divine. They are the ones who have endured lifetimes of trials, facing adversity, rejection, and solitude, only to emerge stronger, wiser, and more resolute. Every hardship they have faced was not a punishment, but a preparation. Their souls have been forged in the fires of experience, their wisdom carved from the depths of struggle. If you have felt a deep sense of purpose beyond the mundane, if you have always sensed that you were different, if you have carried within you an unshakable knowing that you were meant for something greater, this is your confirmation. You are not here to blend in with the many. You are here to lead. The world is asleep, ensnared in illusions carefully woven to suppress the truth, and the time has come for the chosen to rise. The moment of awakening is now. The 144,000 are stepping into their divine mission, and if these words resonate within your soul, it is because you are one of them. The prophecy is unfolding, and you are an essential part of it. From the moment you took your first breath in this world, you knew you were different. There was something within you, an awareness, a knowing, that set you apart from those around you. While others moved through life unquestioning, accepting the world as it was presented to them, you saw beyond the surface. You sensed things before they happened, felt energies others ignored, and recognized the illusions that kept people trapped in a false reality. Even as a child, you may have felt like an outsider, as though you were walking through life with a purpose you could not yet fully comprehend. Your journey has not been an easy one. Throughout your life, you may have experienced moments of deep isolation, times when you felt disconnected from the world around you, as if searching for something you could not name. You have faced struggles that tested your spirit, battles that pushed you to the brink, and challenges that seemed insurmountable. But none of it was without reason. Every hardship, every pain, every moment of doubt was part of a greater preparation. The fire you walked through was not meant to destroy you. It was meant to refine you, to awaken the power within you, and to shape you into the being you were always meant to become. You were never meant to conform to the patterns of this world. You were never meant to follow the path of the many. The unease you have felt, the questions that have burned in your mind, the pull towards something greater, these were not coincidences. They were signs, reminders of your true nature, clues leading you to this very moment. And now, that moment has arrived. Tonight, the next stage of your awakening begins. The 144,000 are being activated. And if you are reading this, you are part of that divine calling. The energy is shifting. The veil between worlds is thinning, and those who are ready will feel it in their very core. This is the time for the chosen to rise, to embrace their mission, and to step fully into the light of their destiny. You were never meant to stay in the shadows. You were meant to shine. And now, the world is waiting. This world is not what it appears to be. Beyond the veil of ordinary life, beneath the illusions of daily existence, an ancient battle has been raging since the dawn of time. It is not a war fought with swords, guns, or earthly weapons, nor is it confined to physical battlefields. It is a war for the very soul of humanity, a relentless struggle between light and darkness, truth and deception, freedom and enslavement. The forces of darkness have worked tirelessly to keep humanity blind, lost, and disconnected from its divine essence. They have woven a web of distractions, manipulated reality through false narratives, and shrouded the minds of millions in spiritual blindness. Every system designed to dull intuition, suppress independent thought, and breed conformity is part of this war. The world is filled with noise, chaos, and carefully crafted illusions to keep people asleep, to prevent them from realizing their true power. And yet, despite their efforts, the light cannot be extinguished. The darkness fears the light, for it knows that once the truth is revealed, its hold will weaken. That is why those who carry the divine spark, the 144,000, have faced such immense trials. Have you ever wondered why your life has been filled with struggle, why you have endured betrayals, rejection, and obstacles that others seem to escape? It is because the darkness recognized you long before you recognized yourself. It saw the power within you, the potential for awakening, and sought to break you before you could rise. But it has failed. Despite every hardship, every attack, every attempt to silence you, you are still here. And tonight, as the 144,000 unite, the forces of darkness will tremble. The time of their control is coming to an end. The energy is shifting, and those who are ready to embrace their divine calling will feel it deep within their souls. This is the moment of reckoning, the turning point in the spiritual war. The awakening of the chosen is not just a possibility, it is an unstoppable force, And as the light rises, the grip of darkness will crumble. Tonight is unlike any other night. Beneath the surface of ordinary existence, beyond the limits of human perception, something profound is unfolding in the spiritual realm. This is not a moment bound by time or geography. It is a convergence of souls, a sacred alignment where the chosen ones are drawn together through an unseen force that transcends the physical world. Though separated by distance, they are united in energy, in purpose, in divine resonance. As this gathering takes place, the veil between worlds will thin, and those attuned to the shift will experience its effects in ways both subtle and undeniable. Some will feel an overwhelming sense of peace, as if a heavy burden they have carried for lifetimes is suddenly lifted. Others will be struck by a surge of energy, an electrifying pulse moving through their being, awakening dormant aspects of their soul. Prophetic dreams may come, visions of what is to unfold, flashes of divine insight revealing knowledge long hidden from the conscious mind. Some will see patterns of light, symbols not meant for the eyes but for the soul to understand. For many, the most powerful sensation will be an unshakable sense of unity. The loneliness, the isolation that has accompanied their journey will fade into the realization that they have never truly been alone. They are part of something vast, something eternal, something far greater than they ever imagined. And in that moment of recognition, fear and doubt will dissolve, replaced by a deep knowing, a certainty that they are exactly where they need to be, stepping fully into their divine purpose. This is not a night of chaos or confusion. It is a night of alignment, of divine order, of prophecy unfolding before our very eyes. The forces of darkness have worked tirelessly to prevent this awakening, to keep the chosen ones disconnected, distracted, and doubting their own power. But tonight, their efforts will fail. The 144,000 are rising, and the shift they bring will send ripples through every plane of existence. This is the moment the darkness has feared, and it is only the beginning. The time has come. The sacred alignment is unfolding, and the spiritual realm is calling you to step fully into your divine purpose. But to receive the energy of this transformation, you must be prepared. You cannot enter this moment carrying the weight of distractions, doubt, or fear. Your mind must be clear, your spirit open, and your heart ready to embrace what is coming. Begin by cleansing your energy. The world is filled with heavy frequencies, fear, anger, and doubt that cloud the mind and weaken the soul. These energies are designed to keep you disconnected from your higher self. Release them. Let go of anything that no longer serves you. Take a deep breath, center yourself, and allow the light to fill every part of your being. Meditation, prayer, or even quiet reflection will help realign you with the divine flow. Next, disconnect from distractions. The noise of the world, the endless chaos, the demands, the illusions are meant to keep you asleep. But tonight, silence is your ally. Turn off external distractions. Step away from anything that pulls you from your inner truth. Find stillness. The spiritual realm is speaking, and only those who are truly listening will hear its call. As you prepare, ground yourself in truth. The forces of darkness will try to shake your faith, whispering confusion and doubt into your mind. They want you to question your worth, to wonder if you are truly meant for this mission. But understand this: you would not feel the call if you were not chosen. This alignment is not accidental. It has been orchestrated since before time, and you are exactly where you are meant to be. Stand firm in knowing. Raise your frequency. Fear, negativity, and doubt will lower your vibration and block the divine energy trying to reach you. Do not allow darkness to take root. Protect your energy, surround yourself with light, and elevate your consciousness. The higher your vibration, the more deeply you will connect with the awakening taking place. Speak it into existence. Write it down. Set a clear intention. I am ready. I step fully into my divine mission. I embrace my purpose without fear. Words have power, and when spoken with conviction, they shape reality. The moment is here. The alignment is happening. You must step forward with confidence, for this is the night that will change everything. Tonight is not the conclusion of your journey. It is the beginning of something far greater. The alignment you have stepped into will shift everything, awakening a power within you that has long been waiting to rise. From this moment forward, you will no longer see the world as you once did. The illusions that once clouded your vision will dissolve, revealing truth with a clarity you have never known before. A deeper sense of purpose will settle within you, guiding your every step with unwavering certainty. But with this awakening comes responsibility. Your mission is not to force change upon others, but to embody the light so powerfully that those who are ready will awaken simply by witnessing your truth. You are a guide, a beacon in a world that has long been shrouded in darkness. Your existence alone, the way you carry yourself, the strength of your spirit, will be enough to stir something within those who are seeking. You do not need to convince, debate, or demand. Your presence will do the work. Yet, be prepared, the forces that have worked to keep humanity blind will not surrender easily. Now that you have stepped into your power, the forces of deception will try harder than ever to silence you. They will seek to cast doubt upon your path, to pull you back into the illusions you have only just escaped. The world will not understand you. It never has, and it never will. But that is not your burden to carry. You were not sent here to be understood. You were sent to fulfill a prophecy. The distractions, the resistance, the attempts to suppress your light, none of it matters. What matters is that you continue to rise, to stand firm in your truth, and to walk forward with unwavering faith. The awakening is accelerating, and the time for hesitation is over. You are here for a reason. You were chosen for this moment. The world will never be the same after tonight. The spiritual realm has shifted. The energy of the 144,000 has begun to dismantle the illusion. The darkness is losing its grip. But the war is not over. The enemy will resist, but it will fail. You must stand firm. You must hold your light. You must walk in your power. The time for hesitation has long passed. You were sent here for this exact moment. And now, the world needs you. Tonight, you rise. If you feel this message in your soul, acknowledge it. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment 777 below to affirm your alignment. Let the spiritual realm witness your awakening. This is your moment. This is your mission. This is your destiny. And nothing will ever be the same again. You are chosen. Now act like it. Chosen one, this message has found you at the perfect time. This is not a coincidence. This is destiny unfolding before your eyes. The universe, the divine, and your own higher self have aligned to bring you here, right now, at this exact moment. You have always felt different, haven't you? A deep knowing within you whispers that you do not truly belong in the world around you. You've questioned your purpose, your struggles, and the very nature of your existence. And now, the truth is ready to be revealed. You are not ordinary. You were never meant to be. You are the lost child of a royal bloodline, a lineage not of this world, but of divine origin. Your very soul carries the mark of the chosen ones, those who were separated from their true inheritance and placed among the ordinary, but never meant to stay there. The time for your awakening has come. The signs have been appearing. The synchronicities, the deep spiritual pull, the unseen forces guiding you towards something greater. This message is not just words. It is a call to your soul, a reminder of who you truly are. Are you ready to discover? From the moment you were born, the world has tried to convince you that you are just like everyone else. You have been told to conform, to follow the rules, to fit into the mold that society has created. Yet deep within your soul, you have always known that something was different about you. No matter how much you tried to blend in, there was always a lingering feeling that you were meant for something more. You have questioned why you see the world differently, why you feel things so deeply, why you cannot accept the shallow pursuits that seem to satisfy others. The answer is simple. You are never meant to be ordinary. You are part of something far greater than you can imagine, a sacred bloodline, a lineage of spiritual warriors, divine leaders, and enlightened beings. This bloodline has existed since the beginning of time, carrying the wisdom and power of the divine. But throughout history, forces have worked tirelessly to suppress it, to keep the chosen ones hidden, asleep, and disconnected from their true nature. They have placed you in families and environments that do not recognize you, surrounded you with distractions, and created illusions to make you forget who you are. But the truth cannot be erased. You have always been different because you were meant to be. While others are content with the illusions of this world, you have been searching for something real. You have been drawn to ancient wisdom, spiritual truths, and knowledge that goes beyond the material world. This is because your soul remembers. It carries sacred knowledge that cannot be found in books, wisdom passed down through generations of divine beings. Even when you were unaware of it, your spirit was guiding you back to the truth of who you are. You are not just learning, you are remembering. Your life has not been easy, and that is no coincidence. Every hardship, every betrayal, every moment of loneliness was not meant to break you. It was meant to awaken you. The world has tested you, placing obstacles in your path, trying to dim your light. You have been made to feel like an outcast, like you do not belong. But in reality, all of this has been part of a greater plan. The fire you have walked through was not meant to destroy you. It was meant to forge you into the powerful being you were always meant to become. And now, the time has come for you to rise. The illusions are fading, and your soul is calling you to step into your true power. No longer will you shrink yourself to fit into a world that was never meant for you. No longer will you doubt the deep knowing that has always been inside you. You are awakening, stepping into the truth of your divine identity. The forces that have tried to suppress you can no longer hold you back. You are part of something ancient, something sacred, something unstoppable. From the moment you took your first breath, your path was different. Unlike those around you, your life was never filled with ease or effortless belonging. Instead, you have walked a road marked by struggle, loneliness, and an unshakable hunger for something more. But none of this was by accident. Every challenge, every unanswered question, and every moment of feeling like an outsider was part of something far greater than you ever imagined. Long before you were born, a prophecy was written, one that spoke of the lost children, those who would one day awaken to their true nature and reclaim the power that was always meant for them. You are one of them. You are the lost child separated from your divine inheritance, hidden among the ordinary so that, in time, you would remember who you truly are. The ancient prophecies tell of souls like yours, beings who were once connected to a higher realm, seated upon spiritual thrones, but cast into a world of illusion. The forces that seek to control this world feared the awakening of the lost children, for they knew that once these souls reclaimed their true identities, everything would change. The wisdom they carry is ancient and powerful, but before they can step into their destiny, they must first endure trials that will shape them into the warriors they were always meant to be. You have spent your life feeling different, as though you were out of place in a world that does not understand you. You have questioned why your soul seems disconnected from those around you, why your heart longs for something beyond what this world offers. But now, the answer is clear. You were never meant to fully belong here. You were placed in this world not to conform, but to awaken. You were born into a system that was designed to keep you asleep, blind to your true power. The distractions, the expectations, the pressures, all of it was meant to keep you from remembering. But despite everything, your soul has resisted. No matter how many obstacles life has thrown at you, something deep inside you has always pushed back. That unshakable feeling that you are meant for more, that your existence holds a deeper purpose, is not a mere thought. It is a calling. It is the whisper of the prophecy echoing within you, reminding you of the truth that the world has tried to make you forget. The prophecy states that before their awakening, the lost child must endure suffering. They will be cast aside, misunderstood, and rejected. They will feel abandoned, betrayed, and unseen. The world will do everything in its power to convince them that they are weak, that they are alone, that they are not enough. But the prophecy also states that through this suffering, they will develop a strength that cannot be broken. They will rise not because they were given an easy path, but because they have been forged in the fire of adversity. And now, it is your time. The illusions are fading, and the truth is breaking through. You can feel the shift happening within you. The world that once held you captive no longer has power over you. The struggles that once seemed unbearable now make sense. Every moment of isolation, every hardship, every tear has been preparing you for this moment. The time has come for you to step into who you were always meant to be. You are no longer lost. You are awakening. And as you rise, the world around you will begin to change. This is your journey. This is your prophecy. And now it is time for you to embrace it. Your journey has been one of solitude, and this is no accident. From the very beginning, you have walked a path that few can understand. While others moved through life feeling at home in the world, you felt different, like an outsider looking in, searching for a connection that always seemed just out of reach. You have felt the weight of isolation pressing against you, the deep ache of being misunderstood, and the quiet struggle of feeling disconnected from those around you. But make no mistake, this was never a punishment. It was preparation. The loneliness you have experienced was not a sign that something was wrong with you. It was a necessary trial, a sacred process designed to shape you into the person you were always meant to become. The test of separation is one of the most challenging obstacles that a chosen one must endure, yet it is also one of the most powerful. It strips away illusions, removing the distractions and external influences that keep so many people trapped in a false reality. It forces you to rely on the only things that truly matter, your inner strength and your connection to the divine. Throughout history, the greatest spiritual leaders, prophets, and enlightened beings have walked this same path before stepping into their destiny. They too were cast out, rejected, misunderstood. They too felt the sting of isolation. But this was not a mistake. It was a necessary step in their transformation. Before they could rise, they had to first endure the silence. They had to learn to listen to the voice within, to find clarity in the emptiness, to build strength in the absence of external validation. The same is true for you. The solitude you have faced was meant to purify you. It was designed to remove the noise of the world, to strip away everything that was not aligned with your true purpose. It was in the moments of stillness, when you had no one else to turn to, that you found the greatest truth. The quiet forced you to look inward, to face yourself, to uncover the wisdom that had always been within you. You were never truly alone. Even in your loneliest moments, you were being guided, shaped, and prepared for something far greater than you could imagine. Now, you must accept this truth. The pain of separation was never meant to break you. It was meant to reveal your strength. It was not meant to make you feel unworthy, but to remind you that you were never meant to fit into the mold of this world. You were chosen to rise above, to see beyond the illusions, to walk a path that few are strong enough to take. The test of separation was never meant to be easy, but it was always meant to lead you to exactly where you are now. You have endured, you have grown, you have awakened, and now it is time to step fully into who you were always meant to be. The moment you realize who you truly are, everything begins to change. It is not a gradual shift, but a complete transformation, one that reshapes your mind, your soul, and your spirit. The world you once knew starts to feel unfamiliar, as if the veil that kept you blind has suddenly been lifted. What once entertained you now feels empty. The conversations and distractions that used to hold your attention no longer resonate. The relationships that once seemed comfortable begin to feel forced, as if they no longer belong in your life. It is as though a hidden layer of reality has been exposed, and you can no longer pretend that you do not see it. As your awakening deepens, your intuition sharpens. You start noticing the things that others overlook, feeling the energies that others ignore. Your dreams become more vivid, sometimes carrying messages and visions that feel almost prophetic. The patterns of the universe become clearer, and the signs that were always there suddenly make sense. You begin to recognize the illusions that have kept people trapped, the falsehoods that have shaped their beliefs, and the deceptions that have controlled their lives. You no longer accept things at face value because you can see through the veils that once blinded you. This is the beginning of your true power. The moment you step beyond the illusions and into the truth of your existence. But understand this, awakening is not easy. It is not a path of comfort, nor is it a journey that many will understand. To awaken is to face the truth, and sometimes the truth is painful. It means confronting the lies you once believed, the conditioning that shaped you, and the attachments that no longer serve you. It means letting go of people, habits, and situations that you once held close but now realize are holding you back. This part of the journey can feel lonely, as many around you may not understand the changes taking place within you. Some may question you, some may resist your transformation, and some may even try to pull you back into the version of yourself that you have outgrown. But you must stand firm. This awakening is not a mistake. It is your destiny. The universe has been guiding you toward this moment, preparing you for the path that only a few are strong enough to walk. You must embrace who you are, even when it means standing alone. You must trust in your inner wisdom, even when others doubt you. And above all, you must claim your inheritance, not as something that needs to be earned, but as something that has always belonged to you. You are awakening to your divine nature. You are stepping into your power, and once you begin this journey, there is no turning back. The illusions of the past can no longer hold you, and the truth that has been revealed can never be unseen. You are no longer lost, no longer asleep. You are becoming who you were always meant to be. Now, it is time to walk forward with courage, with purpose, and with the unshakable knowing that you are destined for something greater. Accepting your divine birthright is only the first step. Now, you must rise and reclaim what has always been yours. You were never meant to live in doubt, uncertainty, or fear. You were born with a sacred inheritance, one that has been hidden beneath layers of conditioning, deception, and self-doubt. But the time for hesitation is over. Now is the moment to step into your true power. Your inheritance is not material wealth or earthly possessions. It is far greater. It is the wisdom of your ancestors, the strength of your spirit, and the divine authority that has always been within you. It is the unshakable truth that you are not ordinary, that you were chosen for something beyond the limitations of this world. No longer will you question your worth. No longer will you search for validation outside of yourself. Everything you have been seeking has been inside you all along. You are not here to ask permission to be who you are. You are not here to beg for what has always belonged to you. You are here to claim it. Speak it into existence. Declare it with unwavering confidence. I am the lost child of the divine kingdom, and I reclaim my power. The moment you say these words with conviction, something within you shifts. The chains that once held you back begin to break. The illusions that kept you small start to dissolve. The forces that have tried to suppress you can no longer stand in your way. You are no longer bound by the past. You are no longer confined by the expectations of the world. You are stepping into the fullness of your divine identity. Final message to the chosen ones. Everything you have been through, every trial, every heartbreak, every moment of isolation, was leading you to this truth. You are royalty. You have walked through the fire. You have endured the storms. And yet, you are still here. That alone is proof of your power. The time for doubt is over. The time for hesitation has passed. You are no longer lost. You are no longer searching. You have found your way home, to yourself, to your truth, to your divine inheritance. Now, rise. Your time has come. That is more than enough. Like this message, comment below, subscribe so you don't miss any future revelations, and most importantly, step into your divine calling. May God bless you richly. May His favor surround you. Dear Chosen One, if you are watching this, it is not by chance. You have been led here, guided by a force greater than yourself, because your life is about to change in ways you never imagined. The struggles, the sleepless nights, the unanswered prayers, all of it has been preparing you for this very moment. You are on the brink of a divine transformation where you will step into unlimited abundance, prosperity, and joy. God is calling His chosen ones to rise, to leave behind limitations, and to embrace a destiny far greater than they ever dreamed possible. You have worked tirelessly, yet something inside you whispers that you were meant for more. That whisper is not your imagination. It is God's voice telling you it is time. Today, I bring you a message of faith, transformation, and supernatural provision. You are about to step into a millionaire destiny, not through endless toil, but through divine favor. Your struggles are ending, and your breakthrough is beginning. So, open your heart, clear your mind, and prepare yourself, because your life will never be the same after this. For far too long, you have found yourself caught in a cycle of working tirelessly with little to show for it. You have given your time, energy, and passion to jobs that fail to recognize your worth, draining your spirit rather than fulfilling your purpose. You have watched others rise to success while you remain stuck, wondering if your breakthrough will ever come. Society has taught you that financial security is only achieved through relentless effort, that wealth is reserved for the select few who sacrifice everything to attain it. But let me tell you something. This is not the life you are meant to live. God did not place you on this earth merely to struggle, to work endlessly just to make ends meet, and to live a life of limitation. You were created for something greater. You are not here to be overlooked, undervalued, or bound by financial hardship. Your purpose is not to serve those who fail to see your value. Your purpose is to lead, to create, and to prosper. That deep desire within you for more freedom, more abundance, more impact, is not greed. It is God's calling, reminding you that you were made for a life beyond struggle. Now is the time to break free. Break free from the chains of financial hardship that have kept you trapped. Free yourself from the jobs that deplete your soul and keep you from stepping into your true calling. Free yourself from the belief that wealth and success belong to others, but not to you. You are just as worthy of abundance as anyone else. The struggle is not your destiny, prosperity is. The world may tell you that success only comes through backbreaking labor and endless sacrifice. But God's plan is different. His favor does not come through exhaustion, it comes through faith. When God chooses to bless you, no man, no system, and no circumstance can stand in the way. The shift in your life is already in motion. Your breakthrough is coming, and when it arrives, nothing will be able to stop it. So, lift your head high. You were never meant to settle. You were never meant to live in lack. God has already written abundance into your story. Now, all that is left is for you to step forward in faith and claim the life He has been preparing for you. The struggle ends here. Your time is now. Imagine waking up each day knowing that money is no longer a source of stress. Imagine a life where your bank account is overflowing, where your dreams are no longer distant possibilities but tangible realities, and where your heart is at peace, knowing that you are fully provided for. This is not just wishful thinking. This is your destiny. The financial transformation that is coming to you is not an ordinary change. It is not just an increase in your paycheck, a sudden promotion, or a lucky break. This is a divine shift. The windows of heaven are opening, and God is preparing to pour out blessings so great that you will not have room to contain them. This is not wealth that comes through struggle or mere human effort. This is supernatural provision, flowing effortlessly into your life beyond anything you have ever imagined. What this abundance looks like in your life: a financial overflow. The days of living paycheck to paycheck are over. You will have more than enough. More than enough to provide for yourself, more than enough to bless others, and more than enough to live without financial worry. Opportunities knocking at your door. The right doors will open for you at the right time. You won't have to force success. It will come to you naturally. The right career moves, the best investments, and the most profitable ventures will align in your favor. Divine connections. God will place people in your life who will help you rise higher. Mentors, business partners, and influential individuals will be drawn to you, guiding you toward greater wealth and success. An elevated lifestyle. No more settling for less than you deserve. You will live in abundance, comfort, and joy. Your home, your environment, and your experiences will reflect the blessings God has poured into your life. And here is the most powerful truth. When God blesses you, it is not temporary. This wealth will not come and go like fleeting riches. It will be permanent, limitless, and generational. The abundance He is about to release into your life is not just for you. It is meant to bless your family, uplift your community, and leave a lasting impact for generations to come. There may have been moments when you felt forgotten, when you cried out to God wondering if He even heard you. He did. Every tear, every hardship, every rejection, none of it went unnoticed. The silent battles you fought, the sacrifices you made, and the nights you spent wondering when your breakthrough would come were never in vain. God has seen it all, and through it, He has been preparing something far greater than you could ever imagine. For too long you have been overlooked, underestimated, and dismissed. You have watched as others moved ahead while you remained stuck, wondering if your time would ever come. But the tables are turning. Those who once doubted you will soon be astonished by the heights you will reach. The people who ignored your potential will witness your rise, not because of mere luck, but because of God's divine plan unfolding in your life. God is about to silence your critics, not with words, but with undeniable success. Your journey, the struggles, the setbacks, the disappointments will become a powerful testimony of what is possible when faith aligns with divine timing. Your story will inspire many, proving that no hardship is permanent and that God's promises always come to pass. What this transformation means for you. The people who once dismissed you will now seek your wisdom and guidance. Those who mocked your struggles will admire your success. The pain, frustration, and rejection of the past will be replaced with overwhelming joy and victory. You will no longer chase after money. Money will chase after you. The financial breakthrough you are stepping into will not only transform your personal circumstances, but will also serve as a public testament to God's power. You will be a living example of what happens when faith is unshakable, when patience is unwavering, and when God's favor is upon a person's life. Your struggles were never meant to break you. They were meant to build you into the person who is now ready to receive an overflow of blessings. Get ready. Your testimony is about to change lives. Faith is the key that unlocks the doors to supernatural abundance. It is not enough to hope for prosperity. You must believe it is already yours. If you truly know that God has chosen you for wealth and success, then it is time to start acting like it. Walk in confidence, speak in faith, and live in expectation. Do not let fear hold you back. Do not allow doubt to creep in and make you question whether you are worthy of the blessings that are coming your way. You are. The only thing standing between you and your breakthrough is your belief in it. So, stop hesitating. Stop shrinking back. Declare boldly, "My time has come." God's blessings are already flowing towards you. Your only job is to receive. The resources, opportunities, and connections that will elevate you to the next level are already aligning in your favor. You do not need to chase after them anxiously. Instead, trust that they are on their way. Stop worrying about how it will happen. Trust that it will. Stop doubting whether you deserve it. You do. Stop waiting for permission. God has already given it. When you shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance, everything around you begins to change. The universe responds to what you believe and expect. If you expect struggle, struggle will come. But if you expect prosperity, if you truly believe that financial success is yours, then money, opportunities, and success will flow into your life effortlessly. Faith is not passive, it is powerful. It does not wait for evidence, it creates the evidence. When you trust fully in God's plan, you remove every barrier standing between you and your destiny. The doors are already open, the blessings are already moving. Now is the time to step forward and claim what is rightfully yours. Your millionaire transformation is already in motion. The shift has begun, and doors are opening in ways you cannot yet see. Now, your responsibility is to prepare yourself to receive the wealth that is coming. Many people pray for abundance but remain stuck in a mindset of scarcity, unknowingly blocking the very blessings they desire. You must align yourself mentally, spiritually, and practically with the overflow that is on its way. Aligning with wealth begins with a shift in mindset. Instead of seeing yourself as someone waiting for financial breakthrough, start thinking and acting like someone who already possesses abundance. Wealth is not merely a distant hope. It is something you expect, claim, and walk in daily. By envisioning yourself as financially free, living in abundance, and making an impact, you align your thoughts with the reality of prosperity. Your words play a crucial role in shaping your financial future. What you declare over your life determines what manifests. Every day, speak prosperity into existence. I am chosen for abundance. Money flows to me effortlessly. God's blessings are chasing me down. When you affirm wealth, you activate it. Speak as if it is already yours, because in the spiritual realm, it is. However, true abundance requires releasing scarcity thinking. Fear of losing money, hesitation to invest, or reluctance to take bold steps can keep you trapped in lack. Wealth is not limited, nor is God's provision ever exhausted. The more you give freely, invest wisely, and take courageous action, the more you open yourself to financial overflow. Operating with an abundance mindset invites prosperity to flow effortlessly into your life. Equally important is being ready to receive. Financial breakthroughs often come suddenly, but if you are not prepared, you may hesitate and miss them. Stay open, stay aware, and step into new opportunities without fear. The blessing you have been praying for could arrive at any moment. Be in position to embrace it. Above all, stay in faith. Even when circumstances seem uncertain, trust that God is working behind the scenes. Delays are not denials, they are divine alignments, preparing you for something greater. Patience and unwavering belief in the promise of abundance will attract the wealth you seek. What you expect is what you will receive, so expect greatness, walk boldly in faith, and claim the prosperity that is already yours. Expect wealth, expect success, expect miracles. Your financial breakthrough is not a matter of if, but when, and when it comes, you will be ready to receive it. Your millionaire destiny is waiting. Step into it with confidence. The wealth that is coming into your life is not just for personal gain, it is a divine assignment. God is not only blessing you with financial abundance, He is entrusting you with a greater purpose. This wealth is meant to flow through you, not just to you. It is a tool to create change, uplift others, and leave a legacy that extends far beyond your lifetime. Your financial breakthrough is not just about comfort and luxury, it is about impact. With this wealth, you will have the ability to help those in need, to be a source of provision for those who are struggling. You will be able to support causes that matter, investing in ministries, charities, and initiatives that bring light and hope into the world. You will create opportunities for others, opening doors for those who never had the resources or the guidance to reach their potential. And above all, you will leave a lasting legacy, one that will inspire and bless generations to come. This is bigger than money. It is about stepping fully into your divine calling. The wealth you receive is not just about what you can acquire, but about what you can give, build, and transform. True prosperity is not measured by how much you keep, but by how much you are able to bless others. So as you prepare for the financial overflow that is coming, remember the purpose behind it. You are not just being elevated, you are being positioned to elevate others. Walk boldly in this new season, knowing that your abundance is a divine tool to make a lasting difference in the world. Chosen one, your life is about to change forever. The struggle is ending. The breakthrough is here. The wealth is flowing. You are stepping into a life of abundance, power, and supernatural provision. Do not fear it. Do not resist it. Do not delay it. Receive it. Walk in it. Own it. This is your season of overflow. The world is about to see what happens when a chosen one steps into their divine destiny. Your journey is just beginning, and the best is yet to come. Subscribe now and turn on notifications so you never miss these life-changing messages. Together, we will continue unveiling the deeper truths that God has for His chosen ones. May His guidance, favor, and wisdom be with you always. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to rise. Chosen one, what you are about to hear will astonish you. If you are watching this right now, it is not by chance you have been divinely guided here. Something extraordinary is about to unfold in your life, and you must prepare yourself to receive blessings beyond your wildest imagination. A shift is happening, one that will renew not just your spirit, but your entire being. You are stepping into a season of miraculous transformation where long-held dreams will manifest, your body will undergo a profound renewal, and the impossible will become your reality. Yes, you heard that correctly. A divine transformation is coming your way. You are not here by accident. This moment is divinely orchestrated, meant to awaken something powerful within you. God is pleased with you, and He is ready to bestow upon you gifts that will surpass your understanding. Before we continue, I want you to do something significant. Leave a comment with the number 77 below. This number carries immense spiritual power. It amplifies your energy and intention, sending a powerful signal to the universe. By doing this, you affirm that you are ready to step into the blessings that await you, and once you take it, nothing will ever be the same again. Now let's explore the extraordinary transformation that God is bringing into your life. When God chooses you, He bestows a gift that is not bound by time, a transformation so profound that it touches every part of your existence. This is not just an external change, but a renewal that radiates from within, manifesting in ways that are impossible to ignore. To be chosen means stepping into a new season where your spirit, mind, and body align with God's divine purpose. It is a shift that renews your strength, restores your joy, and allows you to walk with confidence, knowing that you are set apart for something greater. This divine transformation is more than a mere feeling. It is a tangible reality. The weight of past burdens will begin to lift, replaced by an overwhelming sense of peace and vitality. The weariness that once drained you will vanish as God breathes new life into you. Your presence will carry an unexplainable energy, and people will be drawn to you, sensing that something extraordinary is at work. This change is not superficial, but deeply rooted in the spiritual awakening happening within you. As you align with God's will, your very being will reflect His glory. God's gift of renewal is not temporary. Unlike worldly beauty that fades, this transformation is eternal, a testament to His divine power working through you. Your eyes will shine with newfound clarity, your smile will radiate joy, and your spirit will exude an undeniable presence of peace and strength. You will carry yourself differently, no longer burdened by doubt or insecurity, but filled with confidence in your divine identity. Others will notice, and though they may not understand, they will be captivated by the undeniable light within you. This is the power of God's hand upon your life. It is not simply about looking younger or feeling better. It is about embodying the divine purpose He has placed within you. When you embrace this transformation, you step into a reality where nothing is impossible. Your life becomes a reflection of His grace, a living testament to His ability to renew, restore, and uplift. As you continue on this journey, remember that this gift is not fleeting. It is a permanent mark of God's favor upon you, a transformation that transcends time itself. When God's presence works within you, it transforms not just your spirit, but also the way you present yourself to the world. This is not a shallow or fleeting change. It is a divine reflection of the renewal happening deep within your soul. As you walk in alignment with His purpose, your very appearance will begin to shift, mirroring the work He is doing in your life. The burdens that once weighed you down will be lifted, and the exhaustion that dulled your presence will be replaced by a radiant glow. The light of God within you will shine so brightly that it will be impossible for others to ignore. This transformation goes beyond physical beauty. It is not about conforming to worldly standards, but about carrying a divine presence that sets you apart. Your eyes will shine with newfound clarity and wisdom, reflecting the peace that comes from surrendering to God's plan. Your smile will radiate an unshakable joy, one that cannot be diminished by circumstances. The way you move, the way you speak, the way you carry yourself, all will exude confidence, strength, and a sense of divine purpose. This is the unmistakable mark of someone who has been touched by God's hand. People will begin to notice. They may not immediately understand what has changed, but they will sense the difference. Some will be drawn to your presence, eager to know the source of your newfound energy and peace. Others may be confused, wondering how you have managed to glow with such vitality despite the challenges you have faced. What they are witnessing is not a mere change in appearance, but a testimony to the power of God working in your life. His renewal is not just internal, it manifests outwardly, making you a living example of His grace. This transformation is not temporary or superficial. It is a lasting testament to God's power. The more you embrace His calling, the more this radiance will intensify. It is the light of His Spirit shining through you, a glow that is not of this world, but of His divine presence. As you continue to walk in faith, your appearance will be a reflection of the profound work God is doing within you, showing the world that His power is real, tangible, and life-changing. When God's transformation takes place in your life, it will be so profound that those around you will be left in awe. The changes He brings will not be subtle or easily dismissed. They will be undeniable, leaving people wondering what has happened to you. Some may not recognize the person you once were, as the old version of you fades away, replaced by someone renewed, strengthened, and radiant with divine purpose. What was once impossible in your life will become a living testimony of God's miraculous power, and those who witness it will be astonished. As you step into this transformation, your energy will shift, your presence will become magnetic, and your confidence will grow. The struggles that once defined you will no longer have power over you. Instead, you will walk with an unshakable peace, a newfound strength, and a glow that cannot be ignored. People will notice how effortlessly you move through life, how the weight of the past no longer burdens you, and how joy now radiates from your being. They will ask, "What has changed? How did this happen?" But the truth is, this is not your own doing. It is the work of God, reshaping you from the inside out. Some may be skeptical, unable to comprehend the supernatural transformation unfolding before their eyes. Others may be inspired, longing to experience the same renewal in their own lives. Whether they understand it or not, one thing will be certain: God's power is real, and His presence in your life is undeniable. The transformation He is bringing to you will not only change your own destiny, but will also serve as a beacon of hope for those who witness it. You are becoming a living testament to His grace, His power, and His ability to make all things new. When you walk in alignment with God's purpose, a radiant glow begins to surround you, one that is not merely physical but deeply spiritual. This radiance is a reflection of the divine transformation happening within you, a light that cannot be hidden. It shines through your eyes, in your smile, and in the way you carry yourself. It is the unmistakable presence of God's power working through you, filling you with a peace and confidence that cannot be shaken. This glow is not something you can manufacture or force. It is a gift from God, a natural result of surrendering to His divine plan. As you embrace His calling, your burdens will lighten, your heart will find joy, and your spirit will exude a warmth that draws others in. People will notice some may not be able to explain it, but they will be drawn to the presence of God within you. They will see the way you move through life with strength, grace, and unwavering faith, and they will want to know the source of this light. This radiance is not about outward beauty, but about the evidence of God's work in your life. The more you walk in His purpose, the brighter this glow will become. It is a light that brings hope to the weary, inspiration to the lost, and a reminder that God's presence is real. This is the radiance of divine purpose, the unmistakable glow of a soul that has been touched by the hand of God. Every transformation requires refinement, and when God is preparing you for something greater, He will take you through a process of renewal. This process is not always easy. It often requires letting go of the old to make room for the new. Just as a sculptor must chip away at rough edges to reveal a masterpiece, God will remove anything in your life that no longer serves His divine purpose. This may include old habits, limiting mindsets, or even relationships that are not aligned with your calling. Though this pruning may feel uncomfortable, it is necessary for your growth. Refinement is not a punishment. It is a sign that God is investing in you, shaping you into the person He created you to be. He sees your potential and knows what is required to bring it to fulfillment. During this season, you may experience challenges, setbacks, or moments of uncertainty, but trust that every difficulty is a step towards something greater. Like gold being purified by fire, you are being strengthened, renewed, and prepared for the blessings ahead. As you embrace this process, your faith will deepen, your character will be refined, and your purpose will become clearer. The things that once weighed you down will no longer have a hold on you, and you will step into a new season of divine favor. Though the process may be difficult, the outcome is beautiful. God is making you stronger, wiser, and ready for the extraordinary life He has planned for you. Trust in His refining work, for it is shaping you into the masterpiece He has always intended you to be. When God calls you to a higher purpose, resistance often follows. The transformation taking place within you may be met with doubt, misunderstanding, or even opposition from those around you. People who were comfortable with the old version of you may struggle to accept the changes they see. Some may question your newfound confidence, while others may feel threatened by the shift in your spirit. This resistance, though difficult, is not a sign of failure. It is confirmation that you are stepping into something greater. Walking in your divine calling requires courage. It means standing firm in your faith even when others do not understand. It means refusing to shrink back or compromise simply to fit into the expectations of those who are not yet ready to embrace what God is doing in your life. There will be moments of doubt, but remember, the enemy only attacks what is valuable. If you are not destined for greatness, there would be no opposition. As you continue on this path, the resistance you face will begin to fade. In time, even those who doubted you may come to recognize the undeniable work of God in your life. Do not let fear or external voices deter you from the path He has set before you. Move forward with boldness, knowing that you are divinely chosen. The more you embrace your calling, the stronger you will become, and the more evident God's power will be in your life. Stand firm, walk with confidence, and trust that the transformation taking place in you is preparing you for a destiny far greater than you ever imagined. You are standing on the threshold of something extraordinary. The journey you have traveled, the challenges, the trials, the moments of uncertainty, has all been leading to this moment. Your divine destiny awaits. Every step you have taken, every hardship you have endured, has been a part of God's plan to mold you into the person He created you to be. Now, He is calling you forward into a future filled with purpose, abundance, and supernatural transformation. The path ahead may not look exactly as you expected, but trust that it is precisely the path God has designed for you. He is opening doors that once seemed impossible, aligning you with people and opportunities that will propel you toward your calling. You will no longer be bound by fear or hesitation. God is filling you with confidence, strength, and the courage to walk boldly into the life He has prepared for you. As you step forward in faith, expect miracles. Expect breakthroughs. Expect to see His power working in ways that will astonish you. This is not just another season in your life. This is a divine awakening. The waiting, the refining, the lessons. They have all been necessary to prepare you for what is coming next. Do not shrink back. Do not doubt. Your destiny is calling, and it is far greater than anything you have imagined. This is your moment to rise, to embrace the fullness of who God created you to be. Walk forward with faith, knowing that what lies ahead is nothing short of miraculous. Your divine destiny is here. It is time to step into it. When God transforms you, you are no longer the person you once were. The old version of you, with its doubts, fears, and limitations, has been replaced by something entirely new. You are a new creation in Christ. This is not just a change in mindset or behavior. It is a complete renewal of your heart, spirit, and identity. You are no longer bound by the past, no longer defined by your mistakes or struggles. Instead, you walk in the freedom and victory that comes from being made new by His grace. This transformation is profound. As you surrender to God's plan, you will begin to see yourself through His eyes, strong, worthy, and deeply loved. The burdens that once weighed you down will lose their grip, replaced by an overwhelming sense of peace and purpose. The things that once held power over you, fear, insecurity, doubt, will no longer define your path. Instead, you will walk in confidence, knowing that God has set you apart for something greater. The world may not always recognize the change immediately, but in time, your life will become a living testament to the power of God's renewal. Your thoughts will align with His truth, your actions will reflect His love, and your presence will carry an undeniable light. This is the beauty of being made new, not a temporary change, but a lasting transformation that radiates from within. You are no longer who you once were. You are a new creation in Christ, walking in His strength, His favor, and His divine purpose. Step boldly into this new identity, knowing that God has equipped you for every challenge and every blessing that lies ahead. The old has passed away. The new has come. Chosen one. If this message has resonated with you, leave a comment with 77 and declare, "I am ready to receive God's divine transformation." Your faith is activating miracles. Your new season begins now. Thank you for being part of this journey. If you feel called to support this message, you can click the Super Thanks button to help us continue spreading God's word. We love and appreciate you. See you in the next video. Until then, stay blessed and walk boldly in your divine calling. Beloved chosen one, the moment you have long felt in your soul has arrived. No longer do you need to question why you have always felt different, why the world's rules never seemed to apply to you, why the paths others walked with ease never felt like yours to take. Deep within, you have always known. You were never meant to belong to this world. The systems, the structures, the expectations placed upon you, they were all illusions meant to keep you confined. Yet despite every attempt to shape you into something ordinary, your spirit has remained unshaken. And now, the veil is lifting. The truth is emerging. Your real family has come to find you. They have always been there, watching, guiding, waiting for the moment you would awaken to your true destiny. That moment is now. You were never meant to live an ordinary life. You were meant for greatness. Your path was never like others. It was divinely designed, crafted by the hands of a power greater than this world. It is time to reclaim your place, to embrace the truth of who you are, and to walk into the life you are always destined to live. Chapter 1. The signs you have always known. From the moment you became aware of the world around you, something felt different. It wasn't just a fleeting thought or a passing feeling. It was a deep, unshakable knowing that you did not quite belong in the way others seemed to. While those around you moved through life effortlessly, following the unspoken rules of society, you felt like an observer, watching a world that never fully resonated with your soul. You sensed that something far greater existed beyond what was presented to you. As a child, you often found yourself lost in thought, questioning the very nature of reality. Why did people accept things the way they were? Why did they follow rules without questioning who created them? Why did they live in fear of failure, of judgment, of stepping beyond the lines drawn for them? You saw the cracks in the foundation of the world's systems. You noticed how people willingly surrendered their freedom in exchange for comfort, how they followed paths dictated by others without ever daring to forge their own. But you refused. You tried to fit in, to silence that voice inside you that told you there was more. But no matter how hard you tried, it never worked. The conversations around you felt shallow. The ambitions of others seemed empty. While people chased after material success, status, and approval, you longed for something deeper, something eternal. You searched for meaning in ways that others could not understand. There were moments when you felt isolated, wondering if anyone else could sense what you sensed, if anyone else saw beyond the illusion. But even in those lonely moments, your spirit could not be silenced. In the quiet hours of the night, when the world was asleep, your soul stirred. In the spaces between words, in the pauses between breaths, you felt the truth whispering to you. You are more than this. You were meant for something greater. And now, at last, that deep knowing is being confirmed. The questions that have followed you for so long, the quiet urges of your soul, the persistent feeling that you were destined for something beyond this world, they were never wrong. You were never imagining things. You were never lost. You were always awake. Chapter 2. The moment of transformation. Have you ever witnessed a moment when someone who once seemed unshakable, so sure of themselves, so unwavering in their beliefs, suddenly hesitates? A soldier trained for battle, conditioned to react without fear, yet in a critical moment, their hands tremble. A leader, once moving with unbreakable confidence, now questions the very decisions they once made without doubt. A figure of power and certainty, suddenly uncertain. What could cause such a profound shift? What force is great enough to disrupt years, perhaps even a lifetime of conditioning? It happens when they encounter something greater than themselves. This is the moment when everything changes. It is the breaking point between who they were and who they are meant to become. It is the moment when the weight of truth becomes undeniable, when the veil of illusion is torn away, revealing what was hidden all along. King Saul knew this moment well. Chosen by God to lead Israel, he commanded with authority, making decisions that shaped the fate of a nation. He was strong, respected, and anointed for greatness. Yet, when he turned away from divine guidance, his power began to fade. His confidence eroded, his decisions faltered, and his spirit grew restless. The prophet Samuel rebuked him with words that cut deeper than any sword. To obey is better than sacrifice. For rebellion is as the sin of divination, and arrogance like the evil of idolatry. Saul had been trained to rule, but when confronted with the will of God, he realized his power was nothing without obedience. He had relied on his own understanding, his own strength, but the very foundation upon which he had built his life began to crumble. How often do we find ourselves in the same position? We trust in what we've been taught, in the skills and knowledge we've accumulated, believing they will carry us forward. But what happens when we are faced with something beyond the scope of our understanding? What happens when we realize that everything we've relied on has only prepared us for one final lesson, that there is something higher than all we have known? Moses, too, faced hesitation before his divine mission. He stood before the burning bush, trembling at the thought of confronting Pharaoh. "Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt?" he asked. The doubt crept in, the hesitation held him back. But God's response was simple, powerful, and absolute. "I will be with you." Even Jesus, the Son of God, knew this moment of hesitation. In the Garden of Gethsemane, the weight of the path before him bore down upon his soul. The suffering, the sacrifice, it was overwhelming. And so, he prayed, "Father, if you are willing, take this cup from me. Yet not my will, but yours be done." It was not weakness. It was the human soul standing before the divine will, trembling at the enormity of what lay ahead. And now, it is happening to you. You are standing at the threshold of transformation. The old ways, the old beliefs, the old self, they are falling away. The hesitation you feel is not fear. It is the weight of the calling that has been placed upon you. You are being asked to step beyond what you have known, to release the safety of familiarity, and to embrace the path laid before you. Chapter 3. The Truth That Shatters Illusions. The world is not what it seems. The systems that govern it, the structures that shape it, the rulers who claim power over it, none of them hold the authority they believe they do. For centuries, they have built illusions of control, designing institutions, laws, and ideologies meant to shape the minds of the masses. They dictate what is possible and what is not, who will rise and who will fall, who will be heard and who will be silenced. And yet, beneath their carefully constructed world, truth has never been bound by their rules. There is a reason they work so hard to maintain their control. They know that power is fragile, that their influence is only as strong as the belief of those who submit to it. The moment people awaken to the truth, the illusion crumbles. That is why they fear those who cannot be controlled, those whose eyes have been opened, those who see beyond the veil of deception. Think of David standing before Goliath. The world saw a boy small, unarmed, untrained. Goliath, a giant of war, stood towering over him, clad in armor, holding weapons forged for battle. By every earthly standard, David did not stand a chance. But David knew something that Goliath did not. He did not fight with swords or shields. His strength did not come from the weapons of men. Instead, he declared, "You come against me with sword and spear, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty." And with a single stone, the giant fell. This is the truth they do not want you to know. The real power has never belonged to them. It has always belonged to those who walk in faith, to those who understand that divine strength is greater than anything man can build. The same power that was with David is with you. It is the power that delivered Moses, the man who stood against Pharaoh and led his people to freedom. The power that sustained Jesus, who bore the weight of the cross yet conquered death itself. The power that freed Nelson Mandela after 27 years of imprisonment, transforming a prisoner into a president, a symbol of oppression into a symbol of hope. This power is moving through you right now, and that is why they fear you. The world does not understand those who refuse to be controlled. It cannot predict those who do not submit to its rules. So, it seeks to silence them. It buries their names, erases their history, rewrites their stories. It brands them as outcasts, rebels, threats to stability. Because the moment people see the truth, the moment they recognize that they were never truly bound, the entire system collapses. But here is the question. What happens when the thing they tried to suppress refuses to stay hidden? What happens when the voices they silence begin to rise again? What happens when the truth they buried pushes through the cracks, breaking the foundation of their illusion? They have spent their existence ensuring that the world follows a script, that people stay within the roles assigned to them. But you were never meant to follow their script. They cannot control you. They cannot contain you, and that terrifies them. The giant before you is nothing but a shadow. And just like David, you are armed with something greater than any weapon this world can create. Chapter 4. The Rise of the Chosen Ones. Throughout history, there have always been those who refused to be controlled, those who stood against the forces of oppression, who defied the expectations placed upon them, who refused to surrender to fear. They were not the strongest by worldly standards, nor were they always the most powerful in the eyes of men. But they carried something far greater, an unshakable spirit, a divine calling, and a truth that could not be silenced. Rosa Parks was just one woman, seated on a bus, in a world that told her she had no right to stand against injustice. But with a single act of defiance, refusing to give up her seat, she ignited a revolution. The system had told her she was powerless, yet her courage shattered the illusion of control. The ripple effect of her resistance reached far beyond that moment, proving that when even one person refuses to bow, the entire foundation of oppression begins to shake. Mahatma Gandhi did not fight with weapons. He did not raise an army. Instead, he stood in unwavering truth, choosing nonviolent resistance against the greatest empire of his time. He was beaten, imprisoned, mocked, but he did not break. Through his unrelenting faith and determination, the chains of British rule over India were shattered. The world told him that power belonged to the oppressors, but Gandhi proved that true power comes from the soul that refuses to be conquered. And then there was Jesus Christ, the greatest of them all. He was rejected by the world, mocked by the powerful, and crucified as though he was nothing. But those who sought to destroy him did not understand who they were trying to silence. They believed that nailing him to a cross would be the end of his story. But on the third day, he rose again. He overcame death itself, proving that no force in heaven or on earth could hold him down. And now, it is your turn. You have always known that you do not belong to this world in the way others do. You were never meant to blend in, to be just another part of a broken system. You were meant to rise above it. The forces of this world will tell you that you must obey, that you must conform, that you must accept their version of reality. But that is the greatest lie ever told. You were not created to fit into their mold. You were created to break it. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. You were born to be unstoppable. The world may try to contain you, but it cannot. The systems of control may try to silence you, but your voice will only grow louder. The forces of darkness may try to chain you, but you will break free. The rise of the chosen ones has begun, and nothing can stand in your way. This is the moment where everything changes. The hesitation is over. The waiting has ended. The truth has been revealed, and now your spirit stirs with certainty. You have always known there was something greater, a higher calling, a deeper truth, a purpose waiting to be fulfilled. Now, that moment has arrived. Your true home awaits. Your real family is here. Your destiny is calling, and heaven itself rejoices as you step forward. You were never meant to walk alone. The chosen ones rise together, bound not by the system. Something extraordinary is unfolding right now, and you are at the very center of it. This is not a coincidence. This is not an accident. You are meant to be here, reading these words at this precise moment. A sacred event is about to take place, one that has been divinely orchestrated for you. Today, a God-chosen government official is looking for you, not just anyone because you specifically. What do they know about you that the rest of the world doesn't? What have they seen that even you might not fully understand yet? Could it be that they have recognized something hidden within you? A power, a calling, a divine anointing for wealth and influence? Could this be the moment when everything in your life shifts? Imagine for a moment, a powerful government official, handpicked by God, reaching out to meet with you privately. Not for political reasons, not to ask for favors because they have witnessed something undeniable about your destiny. They see a force within you, a supernatural connection to abundance, favor, and prosperity that is about to manifest. But here's the real question. Do you see it too? This might be the moment you have been waiting for your entire life. Could this be the long-awaited turning point? The moment when God reveals your true purpose and leads you straight into the financial breakthrough you've been praying for? If something in your spirit is stirring right now, acknowledge it. Comment 777 below as a declaration that you are stepping into divine alignment. This is about unlocking a reality that very few will ever step into. A kingdom wealth transfer is on the horizon, but it will only be received by those who recognize the signs and seize the moment. The doors to supernatural increase and divine positioning are swinging open. Will you step through them? Stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal could be the exact knowledge you need to walk into your breakthrough. What happens next may very well change the course of your entire life. You are stepping into a new season of your life, one that has been divinely orchestrated. It is a calling, a sacred invitation into something far greater than you have ever imagined. While many walk through life only acknowledging what is visible to the eye, you have been given a gift, the ability to perceive the unseen. You recognize what others overlook. You sense the intricate, invisible forces that shape the world around you. This is no accident. It is a deliberate choice made by God, a divine selection that sets you apart for a unique and powerful purpose. Deep down, have you ever felt there was something different about you? Have you ever noticed the way people look at you, as if they see something in you that you yourself have yet to fully recognize? Perhaps there have been moments when you felt destined for something greater, even if you could not quite put it into words. That feeling is not your imagination. It is the truth. God has placed a special vision inside your heart, a vision that sets you apart, a vision that speaks of influence, abundance, and transformation. And now, the world is beginning to take notice. People in positions of power, those who shape economies and lead nations, have recognized something extraordinary within you. They see the qualities that make you stand out. They sense the potential that has been placed inside you, waiting to be unlocked. And now, something unexpected is happening. A government official, chosen by God, is searching for you. This is not an ordinary encounter. It is a divine appointment, a moment designed by the Creator himself. But why? What is it that they see in you? What knowledge do they possess that you are yet to fully comprehend? Could it be that they recognize a strength, a wisdom, an anointing that even you have not fully embraced? Could it be that they see you as part of a much bigger plan, a plan where wealth and influence are being transferred into the hands of those who have been chosen by God? You are not here by accident. You have been positioned, prepared, and called for such a time as this. Everything you have been through, every trial, every hardship, has been leading you to this moment. And now, the doors are opening. The opportunity to step into your divine destiny is before you. The question is, are you ready to walk through? Something powerful is unfolding within you. A shift so profound that it defies logic. A transformation so extraordinary that it can only be orchestrated by God. You have walked through fire, endured hardships that would have broken most, faced betrayals that cut deep, and encountered obstacles that seemed impossible to overcome. And yet, here you are, still standing, still rising, still pressing forward. The world may have expected you to fall. Your enemies may have assumed you would give up. Even you, at times, may have doubted whether you could withstand the storms that came your way. But through every trial, through every tear, through every dark night when hope seemed like a distant dream, you endured. And that endurance is not by accident. There is something within you, something the world cannot comprehend, a force greater than mere willpower, stronger than sheer determination. It is divine power, the kind that only those chosen by God can recognize and harness. It is the ability to rise when everything around you is telling you to fall. It is the strength to keep going when the weight of the world is pressing down on your shoulders. That power is transformation. You have the extraordinary ability to take everything meant to destroy you and turn it into the very thing that fuels your success. While others see suffering as the end of the road, you see it as the beginning of something greater. While many allow pain to define them, you use it to refine you. What others view as a stumbling block, you transform into a stepping stone. Your struggles have not been in vain. Every challenge, every disappointment, every closed door was preparing you for something greater. Your pain has not been wasted. It has shaped you, molded you, strengthened you in ways you never thought possible. It has built resilience in your spirit, wisdom in your mind, and fire in your soul. Consider this. Gold is purified through fire. Diamonds are formed under pressure. The strongest trees are those that have weathered the fiercest storms. Likewise, the trials you have faced have not been punishments. They have been preparations. And now, the shift is happening. The old is being stripped away, and the new is emerging. You are stepping into a season where everything that once worked against you will begin to work for you. Where the doors that were once shut will start to swing open. Where the very things that caused you pain will now propel you into purpose. What once broke you is now building you. What once wounded you is now awakening you. You are standing on the edge of something magnificent, something life-altering. You are stepping into the destiny that was always meant for you. So take a deep breath. Stand tall. Walk boldly into what is next, knowing that everything you have been through has prepared you for this very moment. This is not just a season of change. This is your transformation. The moment is drawing near. Can you sense it? The doors that once seemed locked are about to open, and when they do, you will look back and realize that everything you have been through, every struggle, every setback, every moment of uncertainty, was shaping you for this very opportunity. Nothing was wasted. The pain, the disappointments, the battles you fought in silence, all of it has been part of a divine preparation. You were never forgotten. You were being refined for something far greater. As one of God's chosen, you have been set apart, called to something beyond the ordinary. You were not meant to simply exist, to go through life merely surviving. You were created to thrive, to walk in divine abundance, and to step into the fullness of your destiny. But the question is not whether you are chosen. The question is, are you ready to claim what has already been prepared for you? This is more than just another season. This is a divine moment in time. A moment where everything shifts, where the pieces finally come together. God, in His infinite wisdom, has placed you exactly where you need to be. He has orchestrated every step, every delay, every detour to bring you to this place, at this precise moment. The doors that no man could open are now being unlocked by His hand. The opportunities that once seemed out of reach are now aligning in your favor. But will you step through? Throughout history, God has called His people into moments just like this. Moments that changed the course of their lives forever. He called Abraham to leave everything behind and follow a promise he could not yet see. He led Joseph from the depths of a prison to the heights of a palace. He positioned Esther, an orphan girl, to become a queen and save an entire nation. He anointed David, a mere shepherd, to rise as king over Israel. And now, He is calling you. Perhaps you have felt it, a stirring in your spirit, a whisper in your heart telling you that you are on the edge of something extraordinary. You may not be able to explain it, but deep within, you know that change is coming. You are standing at the threshold of a divine breakthrough. It may not always make sense. The process may have been painful. There were seasons when you questioned why certain doors remained closed, why the journey felt so long, why the answers didn't come when you expected them to. But even when you could not see it, God was working behind the scenes. Even when you didn't understand, He was preparing the way. This meeting, this divine appointment, is not a coincidence. It is God's perfect timing. It is His orchestration. It is His will. You have walked in faith when everything around you suggested otherwise. You have endured trials that tested your strength, and yet you have not been defeated. Now He is positioning you for the very thing He has promised. Your faith, your perseverance, and your trust in Him have brought you here. But now you must decide. Will you embrace the destiny that has been waiting for you all along? The opportunities, the blessings, the divine favor, they are already yours. But you must be willing to receive them. This is not the time to shrink back in fear. This is not the time to hesitate. This is your time to rise, to step boldly into the abundance that has been prepared for you, to walk in confidence, knowing that God Himself has paved the way before you. The doors are open. The path is clear. Your time is now. Step forward. Claim your divine inheritance. Walk into the life that God has destined for you. This is your moment. If this message resonates with you, I invite you to show your support and join us in continuing this mission. Your generosity, your engagement, your willingness to open your heart to God's voice, that is more than enough. Like this message, comment below, subscribe so you don't miss any future revelations, and most importantly, step into your divine calling. May God bless you richly. May His favor surround you. May you walk boldly in the path He has set before you. You are chosen. You are powerful. You are stepping into divine abundance. The best is yet to come. Chosen one, listen carefully. This is not just another message. It is a divine warning, a prophecy unfolding at this very moment. If these words have reached you, know that it is not by accident. The spiritual realm is stirring, the heavens have spoken, and God Himself is making a declaration over your life. Tonight, a shift is happening. The battle that has raged in the unseen world is about to manifest in the physical. Those who plotted against you, those who slandered your name, those who tried to tear you down, they are about to experience something they never expected: the judgment of the Almighty. You have felt it in your spirit, haven't you? That unshakable feeling that something is about to break, that heavy energy surrounding you, the tension in the air. This is not your imagination. This is not a mere coincidence. It is confirmation. God has seen every tear you shed in silence. He has heard your whispered prayers, the ones you thought no one noticed. He has watched you endure attack after attack, betrayal after betrayal. And now, tonight, the hour has come. The wicked have gone too far, and the hand of God is moving against them. From the moment God placed His anointing upon you, your life was set apart. You were called, chosen, and elevated by divine favor, but with that elevation came opposition. The chosen ones have always been targets of attack, not because they have done anything wrong, but because of the light they carry. If you are truly anointed, understand this: you will have enemies. You do not need to provoke them, offend them, or even interact with them. Your mere existence disturbs their demons. Your favor enrages them. Your resilience frustrates them. The grace upon your life is like a mirror, reflecting their own shortcomings, and they cannot stand it. They will despise you for reasons even they cannot fully explain. Some will pretend to support you while secretly hoping for your downfall. Others will actively seek to destroy you, using slander, deception, and betrayal as their weapons. They will lie on your name, twist your words, and work behind the scenes to block your blessings. They will manipulate, gossip, and scheme against you, believing that if they can tear you down, they can somehow erase what God has placed upon your life. But what they fail to realize is this: every attack against you is an attack against God Himself. The forces working against you are not just human. This is spiritual warfare, and your enemies are not merely acting out of personal hatred. They are being used by a greater darkness that seeks to extinguish the light within you. The enemy has always feared the chosen ones, for they carry a divine assignment that cannot be stopped. Your anointing is a threat to the kingdom of darkness. That is why you have faced obstacles that seemed insurmountable. That is why you have endured betrayals that cut deep. That is why, even when you tried to walk in peace, opposition arose against you from unexpected places. But here is the truth your enemies have overlooked. God has seen it all. Every scheme, every whispered lie, every attempt to break you. He has taken notice. He has heard the words spoken against you in secret. He has watched as they celebrated your struggles, convinced that they had succeeded in bringing you down. What they do not understand is that the very trials they hoped would destroy you were the ones strengthening you. Every hardship made you wiser. Every betrayal taught you discernment. Every setback positioned you for a greater comeback. And now, tonight, the tables are turning. The same ones who laughed at your pain will soon witness something they never expected: the judgment of the Almighty. The wrath of the living God is moving against those who have mocked His anointed. They thought they had gotten away with their wickedness, but they failed to recognize that God's justice is never delayed. It is only perfectly timed. They sowed destruction, and now they will reap it. They set traps for you, but now they will fall into their own snares. They dug pits for your downfall, but those very pits will become their own graves. Chosen one, stand still and watch. You do not need to retaliate. You do not need to defend yourself. The battle is not yours. It belongs to God. He has already decreed their fate, and His judgment is swift and unstoppable. What is coming for them cannot be escaped. And as they fall, you will rise. As they crumble, you will be elevated. What they meant for evil, God is turning for your good. This is the season where divine justice will be served. The enemies of the chosen ones will finally learn the painful lesson they never expected. Never touch what belongs to God. There is no position more perilous, no fate more terrifying, than standing on the wrong side of God's judgment. He is merciful, slow to anger, and abounding in grace, yet He is also a God of justice. For a season, He allows the wicked time to repent, to turn from their evil ways, to seek forgiveness. But when they harden their hearts, when they continue in deception and refuse correction, His patience does not equate to inaction. The moment His judgment is set into motion, it is like a consuming fire, unstoppable, unrelenting, and absolute. Your enemies thought they were untouchable. They walked in arrogance, convinced that their deceit, manipulation, and hidden schemes would protect them forever. They mistook God's silence for indifference, never realizing that He was simply giving them a chance to change. They believed their wealth, influence, and carefully crafted lies would shield them from the consequences of their actions. They assumed they had escaped justice, that they could continue to move in darkness without fear of exposure. But what they failed to understand is this: God's justice is never late. It is only perfectly timed. He allows the wicked to build themselves up, only so that when they fall, it is from a height so great that their destruction becomes undeniable. And now, that time has come. Some of them will face immediate consequences as everything they place their trust in begins to crumble. Watch carefully, and you will see how suddenly their downfall begins. Some will lose everything overnight: the wealth they boasted in, the status they used as a weapon, the security they thought was unshakable. It will all be taken from them in an instant. The very foundation they stood upon will collapse beneath them. Some will be exposed. Their carefully hidden secrets, the lies they told, the sins they committed in darkness, all will be dragged into the light for all to see. The masks they wore will be torn away, and the world will witness them for who they truly are. Some will experience turmoil, consumed by their own wickedness. The guilt, the fear, the weight of their own actions will begin to eat them alive. Their minds will become restless, tormented by the very things they once thought were hidden. They will find no peace, no escape, no way to silence the voice of judgment echoing in their souls. Some will cry out for help, but no one will answer. The same people they once manipulated, the same allies they conspired with, will abandon them. They will reach out, desperate for support, for someone to rescue them from the storm. But they will find themselves completely alone. Everything they plotted against you will return upon their own heads. The very weapons they crafted in secret will turn against them. The pit they dug for you, they will fall into it themselves. The traps they set for your destruction will become the snares that ensnare them. But here is what you must remember, chosen one. This is not your battle to fight. You do not need to lift a finger. You do not need to seek revenge. You do not need to explain yourself, argue, or try to prove anything. God Himself has already decided their fate. His justice is in motion, and nothing can stop it. Stand still and watch. What is about to unfold is not an accident. It is divine retribution. And as their world falls apart, yours will rise. As they stumble, you will walk forward in strength. Their downfall is not your concern. Your focus must remain on the path God has set before you. For too long, they believed they could act without consequence. But now, God has had enough. His judgment has arrived, and those who oppose His chosen ones are about to learn the most painful lesson of all. No one stands against God and wins. Chosen one. As you step into this season of divine justice and elevation, your role is not to avenge yourself or to dwell on the downfall of those who wronged you. God does not need your help in carrying out judgment. Your focus must remain on Him, your purpose, and the blessings that are on the horizon. Do not look back. Do not be distracted. Stay aligned with His will. First, do not interfere with what God is doing. It may be tempting to reach out, to offer comfort, or even to warn those who betrayed you. But understand this: their suffering is a direct result of their own choices. God gave them time to repent, to turn away from their wickedness, but they refused. Now, their consequences are unfolding. Do not try to rescue them from what they willingly walked into. You must also guard your heart. Bitterness, anger, and resentment are traps set by the enemy. Do not allow their actions to corrupt your spirit. You are not called to harbor hate. You are called to rise above it. Stay in prayer. Pray not for their restoration, but for your own protection, wisdom, and elevation. Ask God to keep your heart pure and your focus strong as He leads you into a greater season of favor. Be cautious. Not everyone deserves a second chance in your life. Some of those who betrayed you will return, desperate and broken. They will come with tears, with apologies, with words that sound sincere. But ask yourself, are they truly repentant, or are they simply suffering? Many will beg for forgiveness, not because they have changed, but because they want relief from the consequences they now face. Do not be deceived. If God removed them from your life, it was for a reason. Resist the urge to reopen doors that God has closed. If they were meant to be part of your future, they never would have betrayed you in the first place. Some people must learn through pain what they refuse to learn through grace. Let them go. Instead of looking back, prepare for what is ahead. God is not just removing people. He is making room for your blessings. He is clearing out what was blocking your path so that you can step into your next season freely and without hindrance. What was stolen from you will be restored, sevenfold. The years you lost, the opportunities that were delayed, the hardships you endured, God is about to turn them into a testimony of victory. Be expectant. God will send signs, confirmations, and undeniable shifts in your circumstances. Pay attention to your dreams, to sudden changes, to divine alignments that seem too perfect to be coincidence. He is showing you that everything you endured had a purpose. Every betrayal, every tear, every sleepless night, it was all part of the process to mold you into who He created you to be. So, stand firm. Do not be distracted by the judgment of your enemies. Their downfall is not your focus. Your elevation is. Keep moving forward with confidence, knowing that what is coming for you is far greater than anything you have lost. This is your season of breakthrough, your moment of restoration, your divine confirmation that God has been with you all along. Your enemies once laughed at your pain, mocked your struggles, and revealed your setbacks. They spoke against you, worked against you, and believed they had won. They thought they had successfully hindered your progress, blocked your blessings, and escaped judgment. But what they failed to realize is that no one opposes a child of God and walks away unscathed. Now, the same ones who took pleasure in your suffering will find themselves drowning in their own despair. The humiliation they sought to bring upon you will return upon their own heads. They will be stripped of the very things they once used to exalt themselves, their status, their wealth, their influence, and their carefully crafted image. Where they once stood in arrogance, they will now bow in shame. The world will see them for who they truly are, as their hidden wickedness is exposed for all to witness. Divine justice is not delayed. It is only perfectly timed. And when it strikes, it comes swiftly, with no warning. For some, their wealth will disappear overnight. The financial security they boasted in, the success they believed was untouchable, will vanish before their eyes. What they used as a source of pride will become their greatest downfall. The very foundation they relied upon will crumble, leaving them in a state of desperation and loss. For others, their bodies will testify against them. The weight of their own wickedness will manifest in sickness, exhaustion, and affliction. What once came easily to them will now feel impossible. They will feel drained, burdened, and overwhelmed, struggling under the pressure of what they have sown. No doctor will be able to diagnose or cure the sickness that is a result of divine judgment. Many will suffer from mental torment. Sleepless nights will replace their once peaceful rest. They will be haunted by the very acts they committed in darkness, unable to escape the echoes of their own wickedness. Their conscience, which they once ignored, will now scream at them relentlessly. Anxiety, fear, and paranoia will consume them as they realize they are no longer in control. Worst of all, they will be abandoned. The same people who once stood beside them, who applauded their actions, will now turn their backs. They will find themselves isolated, rejected by the very ones they conspired with. Their alliances will shatter, their relationships will crumble, and they will come to understand the true loneliness of walking outside of God's grace. But chosen one, this is not karma. This is not mere coincidence. This is divine justice. It is the law of the Almighty. What a person sows, they will also reap. They sowed deception. Now, they will reap exposure. They sowed pain. Now, they will reap suffering. They cursed you. Now, their own words will turn against them. There is no escaping what has already been set in motion. The fate of your enemies is sealed. Their judgment has begun, and nothing can stop what is coming. Watch and see. What was done in darkness is now being brought into the light. The scales are balancing, the tables have turned, and God is proving that He will not be mocked. Chosen one, your suffering was not in vain. Every trial was a setup for your breakthrough. Every betrayal was a lesson. Every attack was preparation. What is coming next for you cannot be stopped. What was delayed is now being released. The favor that was blocked is now overflowing. You are stepping into a new level of authority and power. If this message resonates with you, declare it. Comment 777 below as a sign that you received this word. Speak it aloud. I am chosen. Let's subscribe, like, and share this message with someone who needs to hear it. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. What is coming next will be even more powerful. The battle is over. The war has been won. Now walk forward in victory.